Oh, 7 Kazam. Moldan 07. Hope you're doing well. Alright, need to change the thumbnail. Aimless 07. Australia 07. Hope we're doing well, guys. It is Moldan. It is. It's so big. It's so fluffy. Look, it's so fluffy. You can see. Look at that. That's all like cottony, whatever the fuck it is. It's got pockets. It's so cozy. Just in time for actual winter too. Like it just started getting cold. So I can actually like use it. It is you coming. It's great. I've been wearing it all night. Nice IC. Oh yeah. Yeah, very warm. And that's not all. We have more stuff to show. It falls this way, Ucomic. But Ucomic, you know I've had this new boom mic for like a year? I think. I've had this one for a while. When did I... Oh, no, I think I got this at Christmas. No, I got this at Christmas. So I've had it for 4 months. I got this at Christmas, Ucomic. Come on, you chump. This guy. This guy. Jeez. I said Vet Raptor. I haven't washed it. I'm sure it'll be fine, I see. But I'll wash it after today. Do a first sort of wash with it. The last time you caught me live? Like 2 weeks ago. Like you were here 2 weeks ago, I'm fairly sure. Clearly not very perceptive. Jeez. This guy. This guy. Anyway, 07 everyone. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It is stream time. This time next week I'll be at DreamHack. So we're going to get all of our streams in. We're probably going to stream every day until I leave for DreamHack. So I'll be on tonight, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 07 Robbo, 07 Dominios. Yeah, that's the plan. What's up? The brownie mix. Sick. So no brownies? No. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm on there. No, I'm good. Yeah, I know. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saturday. Stream time. 3:23. ISC, SCL. I haven't watched either of them. Also, the roadmap roundup, because I haven't been live since then because I was working Thursday night, Friday night. We also had the roadmap roundup, and I lost the bet. I lost the bet with Mike. Fat rip cargo. Cargo has been pushed back to 323.x, which almost certainly, I mean, we're going to be watching the SCL, but almost certainly means it won't be here by Invictus, but it'll probably be in just after that. Pro tip, don't get the flu. I've been horizontal for 2 days. Yeah, I try not to, really well, for the most part. I try not to get the flu. Big nut for cargo. Big nut for cargo. Yeah, I reckon it'll be 323.2, but I haven't seen the SCL, and I know they talk about it during that. I also didn't watch the ISC because I thought it'd be more fun to watch on stream. About water, which I imagine Will is on, aka a water guy or river guy. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna watch ISC. We'll start with ISC, then we'll watch SCL, and then we'll play some 323. That's the plan. Moist. The moist. Moist Will. My wife didn't try and she gave it to me. Yikes. 07 Deplorable Gaming, how you doing? But first off, let's talk about Subfest. The Subfest stuff from November finally arrived. The November stuff finally arrived. Starting with, of course, this bad boy. It is very cozy. It is very purple. And if you couldn't tell, purple is a sick color and I love it. I'm a big fan of color purple. But yeah, it's pretty dope. It's very warm. It fits me, which is always crazy when anything that gets like sent to me actually fits me, because I'm a big fat tall guy, right? But it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I'm a big fan. But we got more shit. So we also unlocked just a shirt. just a shirt. We got a shirt. It's just a shirt. It's cool. But that one's just a shirt. We unlocked this thing. So it's like a pillow, kinda. So, yeah. That can just sit right there, I guess, right? It's a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt, but it's just a shirt, you know, it's nothing big. So we'll keep the Twitch pillow there. Where's the... One sec. Our pillow... Everything's fine. Our pillow collection is rising. What? I wasn't making a rising joke. God damn. I know. The one that I was actually really hyped for is we got a hoodie. Right? That's the front of the hoodie. Right? The little Twitch logo on it. But more importantly, yeah, boy. Now, they spelt my name wrong. I'm actually Cornsy, not Crunchy. So, genuinely, I can't believe they would do this to me. Cannot believe Twitch would do this to me. But yeah, there you go. What's that? In addition, we got one of these. It's like a film camera. Which I will use. I'll use when I go down to DreamHack. And I'll take some photos and stuff. And should be kind of cool. It comes with, it's also got like a case and, like a case and some film and stuff. Cronky, I am Cronky. And then the Big Mega Boom 3, which I actually am going to keep in here and use. My only thing is, do you reckon I can connect this to my computer without Bluetooth? Because that would be fantastic. It's also apparently waterproof and floats, which is kind of dope. 07 Novel Dragon. Polaroid 2024. I mean, kind of, yeah. It's essentially a Polaroid. But yeah, I think you can only use Bluetooth. So I don't think I can connect it to my computer, which is a little annoying. Because I'd love to use it in here. And my computer doesn't have Bluetooth. But it's still great. I can still use it. So. Lovely. Doing great, Riamone. How about yourself? So yeah, there you go. We already got our gift cards and stuff because we were talking about that. But yeah, there we go. But expect to see me wearing this a lot during winter because it's very warm. It's very warm, and I like it. I like the color and stuff. Hey there, OX6. How you doing? So yeah, finally arrived. Very happy. Finally arrived. Have to get a hot tub in there to put the speaker in. True. There we go. Now you're thinking. Yeah, you're thinking. Alrighty. ISC, shall we? I haven't watched it. I haven't watched SCL. I haven't had time. Oh, actually, let's do roadmap first. Because I literally was unable to check out the roadmap. I know what happened. I saw what happened. But at least on stream, we haven't had a look at the roadmap. So, let's get that up. It's not a blanket, Sir Raja. It's a hoodie. It's a thick hoodie. Bitch. All right. So this was the roadmap roundup a couple days ago. As part of our final review process, we've concluded... One second, my head's in front of everything. We've concluded that the quality of the cargo features that were targeted to the launch of 323 are not yet at the stage where we need them to be for release to the live servers. The freight elevators and instant hangars in particular are technologically complex features that require a bit more work before we feel comfortable fully integrating them into the game. This additional time allows the team to test for additional edge cases and include further refinements, which is especially important for features as impactful as these. However, we are not currently planning on shifting them back a full patch cycle. The features below will remain in 323, but are now targeting 323.x, item banks, personal instant hangars, cargo hauling, freight elevators. RIP. So yeah, disappointing. It was kind of expected this was going to happen when we found out what SCL was called this week, where it was everything. Oh, it was like mostly everything cargo. But it's essentially the only like new features in 323 that as in like new experiences that is going to be missing from 323, and that's a bit sad. Now, exactly, Dominios. We're going to be watching SCL today. SCL is about cargo. So we're going to be hearing them talk about all that sort of stuff and see where they actually might be. I believe hearing something about like they're just like a couple of extra weeks away, something like that. But yeah. So we'll end up having a look at that. Still disappointing though that it's not going to be in 323.0. And everything I'm hearing about stability of the current patch is that it's still a bit rough. So not live anytime soon. So see what happens. Exactly, Billabob. Yeah. So if you guys missed it, I made a bet with Salty Mike before This Week in Star Citizen came out. I made a bet with Salty Mike that the new freight elevator stuff would hit 323.0. He said it wouldn't, and then the bet was basically whoever lost the bet, the other person gets to make their character in the character creator, and the other person has to use it until the next major patch. So Mike is creating or has created my character. I haven't seen it yet. Do not spoil it for me. He's going to show it to me at the start of the podcast tomorrow night, which is going to be great. It's going to be good fun. There's no possible way it could go wrong. So that's going to be very, very interesting. I'll just have to wear a helmet for the rest of my life. Yeah, this is still a lot less dropped from this patch than I thought would be. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway. So yeah, so that happened, and it's going to be interesting. We'll have to use Mike's character. Continuing on this, some other stuff. Obviously, Vulcan and water. We've been, using those in the PTE the last couple of days. Study Michael makes a perfect recreation of you in the character creator. Oh, that'd be so cute. Except I don't think that's what he's done at all. And then all of these got committed, which I'm fairly sure is literally everything in the patch. If I'm not mistaken, that is other than these two, other than Vulcan and water simulation, that is everything in the patch. Maybe one or two things are missing. But yeah, there you go. That's the roadmap. Let's watch some ISC. Let's watch some water.
Alpha 323 is just around the corner, and with that, a host of new gameplay and general life in the verse features. But it also includes technological improvements like the replication layer split, our initial implementation of Vulcan, image upscaling breakthroughs, and the subject of this week's show, changes to the water rendering and simulation system that were first discussed at last year's CitizenCon. So here now are the water wizards themselves to tell us more.
The water wizards, the moist men, the wet The wet Welshman, the liquid lads. I can't think of any others.
You've been doing this for a while now. Why do you think people are so interested in water?
In just any
drippy developers.
Such a focal point. You go to a national park, you go see the rivers and
Moist
the
Masters,
waterfalls.
fluid fanciers.
Stock photos of anything. It's people focus on the water because it is just so different to kind of.
Wormy, this is literally the coolest dev in the company. I will not have you shitting on anything that he appears in. How fucking dare you?
Kind of anything else you find in nature. Like everything's unique and everything's different, but water is just something else entirely. Wow, you're making me sound like I'm a water cult or something.
When you came aboard, did you imagine you'd be the one?
Also, his name isn't Wayne, it's Will. Will Price?
I refer to myself as that name. Try as you might, Jared.
It probably said it right at the start. I wasn't paying
Homie?
attention. Hydro Homie! I forgot about Hydro Homie.
I guess I didn't see it being such a focus, but I'm glad that it is. It's good fun. I really like it. It's not all water. Water's just the nice things I get to talk about more.
Wet Will. Good old Wet Willy.
Someone asked me when I was at SitCon recently, what makes water 3D in games? What's different to anything else? And the truth is, you have to work to make it look like water, because what we perceive as a volumetric liquid in real life, in graphics, we break down into different parts. You have the water surface, which is what you see reflecting, what you can look through, where you see your waves and your foam and so on. You have the fog underneath, and any particles floating around that makes you feel like you're inside water rather than just underneath a surface above you. And then you have all.
I mean, you're actively wrong, Wormy. It does look like that.
The boundary when it's intersecting your visor, or any of the splashes or simulation that we're going to move on to. So we showed a slice of what we've been doing with water at SitCon last year, and what we put out into 323 is a few steps ahead of that. So we're going to show you what we've been able to do since. Getting the rendering right was really key to making sure that the sim looks right, because anything that catches your eye and tells you this isn't real is going to stick out far more than any work that we put into the sim.
This feels like the hardest thing to program in like any video game,
the way we've rendered water
right?
in the past in Star Citizen was not really up to scratch. So we have spent a lot of time trying to make it a lot more realistic. Water is quite an interesting thing to render. It has a very complex form in its dynamics and the way it animates. But optically, it's very interesting too. In some ways, water is like glass. It's transparent, it refracts and distorts light which passes through it. And it also has a surface which reflects the environment around it.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, water is also like fog. It obscures the background behind it, maybe completely obscuring it. And certainly impure water will have suspended particles which themselves reflect light and give the water a cloudy hue. The water surface may feature foam.
I mean, water is hard in all engine tech.
Waves are occurring or at shorelines. One thing we wanted to do was improve the way we render foam on the ocean surface. This involved having it show detail when viewed close up, and also having it disperse in a very naturalistic way, where the foam breaks apart into small patches and the bubbles dissipate.
It's caking you,
we did to get the details on the close-up view.
Shut up, Wormy! Just shut up!
Photograph a pan of soapy water.
You're wrong! It's not caking everything. Shit's hard as fuck.
Project onto the foam surface and give the look we wanted. It's nice to think that all of the foam you see on any ocean in the verse started its life in a soapy pan of water in my kitchen. In Star Citizen, players can enter the water. This means they can view the water from underneath the surface. So we spent lots of time making sure underwater views look correct, showing fogging and so on. Similarly, when the player enters the water line may cut across the player's visor, and we took a lot of time getting that to render correctly and show it as expected.
I really think the improvements that have gone into the rendering of the water, especially the surface, the fog, it's leaps and bounds ahead of what was in 322. So from rendering, let's
The, like,
move on to surface
visuals
simulation.
we got the other day when we were doing our engineering stuff, and I took the Saber
What we
down
wanted
and
to
just did,
do
like, the
was
glide over
provide
was so
some
fucking
next
sick.
level visuals to
was
go
dope
with
as
all
hell.
the things that can interact with water in our game. With the nature of the sandbox
Even just, like, the
universe,
water
there's just
blowing up
so
on
many ways you can
the
interact
front
with
was
it.
so sick.
And with all our spaceships and the colossal thrusters and wakes they can throw off, we really wanted to be able to match that with the water rendering. The way we decided to approach this, instead of having a square that follows the camera, like many games do, of water simulation, we wanted to have something more powerful than this. We wanted you to be able to stand at the top of a mountain and watch a ship fly across a lake underneath, drawing the wake behind it. And you wouldn't get that with a fixed square around the camera. So the approach we took was something called region-based surface simulation. This allows us to allocate areas where we need to be simulating and propagating water waves at any given moment, regardless of where the camera is.
I need to get, some point today, I need to get one of you to, like, fly over some water while I look from,
can have
the other
a
side.
pool of them of any size depending
what it
on
looks
the
like,
spec of
you
your
know,
PC.
not
You can
from
actually change the
directly from the ship.
maximum allowed regions in your graphics options.
On medium setting, you can have 32 regions.
Bro, the
simulated
Seulin!
at the
I
same
didn't even
time.
think about the
You can
Seulin.
even go to a very high setting, which would give you as many as 128. To choose the best regions,
assume you mean
we
reclaimers,
try to have
yeah.
the closest and most important ones show up and call the other ones. The fact that we sort it by the number of interaction and how strong they are means that only the most important
We literally
ones will
did
be
it
shown
on
screen,
Wednesday, Whammy.
which helps because having
The
a
frame rate
little,
was trash, but we
interaction
did it,
right in
and
front
it
of
looked
you
great.
could be useful, but it might not be visible when there's a very big ship going right by and creating a huge wave.
Sounds like you've built a very efficient system then.
We've tried to build a very efficient system.
Yeah. Probably there was more water
In order to
improvements in today's
interact
patch
with
too, right? Or
things
yesterday's?
that are in the water, we first need to know that they are there. We've hooked up to the physics system so it sends us events when physical objects like boxes or the player or bits of ship debris are in or floating in the water. From there, we can work out how much water has been displaced
Oh, yeah,
and the
Bez.
velocity and pick an appropriate simulation wave speed to match those.
Well, I mean, you're just going to
From
complain
there,
all
we
day?
can apply
You're just gonna
forces to
complain
different
about cool
pixels of
visuals all
each
day?
sim region, which then propagate
It's pretty
as we
cringe, not gonna lie.
update that region over time. As well as responding to physical objects in the water, we can also hook this up to other input types.
For example, we could have a ship falling into water, creating a huge displacement. But we can also have footsteps near the beach. Or we could also have bullets and missiles and explosions.
Probably sick. Great. Looking
For
forward
the
to it.
player, this means that you can be way more immersed in your game.
The bullet
as you can see
impacts
the
are pretty
direct
spot on.
effects of what you are doing, how you're
Reacting to
playing
Wormy more than
on the
ISC. Yeah,
water.
true. I should really pay attention to the ISC.
We
That's
wanted
sick.
to be able to create the best visual impact we could without having an impact on your bandwidth and server performance, etc., especially as we move into bigger and bigger player counts. So our water simulation is done on the client and is visual only, and I think that way we get the best possible result out of it.
All of
Well, I
the
imagine there's not
information
gonna
that we get
be-
from the different systems.
I imagine there's not going to be any like water-based gameplay coming anytime soon, except for maybe boats. And even then, if they do that, right? If they do boat stuff, I imagine that it'll still like the wakes and stuff aren't going to be enough to make it unrealistic or anything, unless the A2 bombing water stuff still happens, I guess. That as well, Kazam. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Is then packaged and sent to the water buffer.
LTI boats, you know it.
Tying this all together is the water buffer. This allows us to take in inputs from multiple systems to the shape of the water surface and then use that information in lots of other systems, such as additional effects and, of course, rendering the water. Each patch of ocean is able to render with both the water buffer on and off. If it is off, it simply shows the ocean waves according to where it is on the planet. If it is on, it first populates the water buffer
Yeah, probably
region
aimless,
with the
probably.
wave data in that patch. We then add in
I wouldn't
any
be surprised if we
simulation
never
data
get
or
buoyancy.
data from other inputs. Then when we come to render the ocean patch, we look up again from this buffer
We'll see.
where we have the
Well,
total
actually, no, we'll probably still get buoyancy, but it'll probably just be in regards to like wrecks and stuff. You know what I mean? Like wrecks floating on the water. I guess we'll see. but I don't imagine it's a thing they're going to do anytime soon.
Added together result of both the original ocean waves, the simulation, and any other inputs. To copy the simulation
I want fishing too.
we build a mesh that covers parts of the water buffer that we're going to write into. The UV coordinates of each vertex in that mesh point to a specific part of the region atlas. This allows us to read specific parts of simulations and input them to other parts of the water buffer, and it allows us to do it in just one draw call. Having the water buffer set up like this to receive multiple inputs leaves the door open for implementing multiple types of simulation going forward. For example, beach crest waves could be input into this system. This means as well that any other system nearby can look up to see where the waves are and see how high the water is. We use this to drive a number of different effects.
But when will the 890 be buoyant?
Allows us to have the graphic system query what nearby waves are doing. This allows us to render things called caustics. Caustics are where the ocean surface is focusing sunlight onto areas nearby. So, for example, it may focus light from the sun onto the seabed, making certain bright patches animate around.
Hell yeah, Felix.
Similarly, light can be reflected.
Wait, so my discount still works?
Side of a vehicle, for example. Caustics
Someone the other day said it wasn't.
Visual clue for water rendering, and leaving them out would have meant.
Either way, hell yeah. Hope you enjoy your VKBs.
Well,
that we need a test.
That went into the water in 323.
That light reflecting
the whole thing is pretty sweet. I'm really happy with how it looks. The team has done a fantastic job.
All right, cool.
Planet Tech have got some really exciting things coming. I'm really, really excited to dive back into the planets of Star Citizen. I hope you guys enjoy it.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the updated rendering system makes water look more like water. That region-based simulation makes water behave more like water. And that the new water buffer itself...
That's pretty much what I've got, Felix. Yeah. I've got a gladiator on the right, but other than that, yeah.
Will get its own series of improvements down the line to make water interact better with the variety of things that players throw into it. Boy, you love throwing things into the water, don't you? For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
Sweet. God damn. Bro, ISC, SCL, all that sort of stuff. Oh, wait, there's going to be a... Surely. Wait, what? No end credits? No end credits meme? What's going on at CIG? It's the end times. Yeah, water is dope. I love water. I'm very excited for it. And I think it looks sick. It's going to make me want to do a lot more just like flying around. And I think it makes a lot of those locations that are like right on the water, like any of the lakes at Microtech that have the thingy locations. I can't remember what they're called. The derelict settlements. The fucking Cleo hazards, bro. Cleo hazards with the new water. Oh my god. So it's gonna be pretty cool for a couple of things. Once again, it doesn't really have much in the way of like physical gameplay, but making the locations look better is always a big banger for me. Is it an hour 30? Jesus. That's long. Let's get into it, I guess. We're in it for the long haul today. Before I do that, it's hour 20. Before I do that, I'm just going to grab some more water. BRB. Live chat was toxic? No. Live chat's never toxic on Star Citizen Live. Crazy. It is kind of nuts. Just how toxic Star Citizen Live chat is. Like, literally no other Star Citizen stream is as toxic as SCL's live chat. It's crazy. Like, think of the most toxic creator you know. Twitch.tv/Croncy. Their live chat still less toxic than the SCL live chat, and it's wild. It's crazy. It's insane. Like, also think about, like, on Answer the Call, right? Me and Mike say some absolute bullshit. Like, we just say wrong things a lot of the time, and the chat is still significantly less toxic. Thank you, EchoBit. It was from Subfest. I went over all the prizes we got from Subfest at the start, but you can see the little Twitch pillow behind me as well. All right, let's get into it. Luckily, because we're watching here, we don't have to watch the live chat, so yay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to We're Back. Welcome to We're Back. Star Citizen Live.
We're Back is my favorite TV
show where we take about an hour out of the end of our week and we hang out with our developers. We chat all things Star Citizen, their personal lives. We show our cool G.I. Joe toys sometimes. And in this case of this week, we're answering questions. We're taking questions. We're putting questions to the developer.
Good enough.
It's clear I've been not doing this for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, we haven't had an SL for ages.
Joining me.
Not since this one got cancelled, right?
Is an esteemed friend of the show, a man who probably needs no introduction, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's throw it to Cargo Chad. Cargo Chad, how you doing?
Cargo Chad.
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm in a mode where I'm assigning nicknames to everybody. You're Cargo Chad, and there's the Hydro Homies, and I'm pretty sure next week's show is about Arena Commander stuff, and Arena 3, I think I called Duncan Arena Man. I don't know. I'm at a point where I clearly should be stopped, and nobody is. So yeah, we're going to jump right into it because we have a lot of questions and stuff. A few weeks ago,
I imagine the first question is going to be like,
maybe
why is it late?
4 weeks ago, we had an Inside Star Citizen.
But we do have a couple of questions that we were talking about when the ISC came out, so I'm hoping they get answered. I imagine they get answered.
Talking about cargo, hangars, persistent hangars, personal hangars, freight elevators, all a bunch of really exciting stuff for the non-combat.
Sit back because it's going to be an hour and 20.
Of which there are many, many of you out there. I count myself as one of them. This is work that's all targeted for Alpha 323, and recently, as I'm sure most of you or many of you might have noticed, with this week's roadmap roundup, it's a hard thing to say out loud. With this week's roadmap roundup, it was recently revealed that the instance hangars, the freight elevators, the item kiosks, everything that's in that little cargo package, that cargo career update that's still coming in the Alpha 323 branch, would not be in the initial release. The initial release being 323.0, and then there might be a 323.1 and a 323.2, and so that stuff's still being worked out and determined. It will still be in one of the subsequent releases.
Yikes.
Whether that is 0.1, 0.2, whatnot remains to be seen.
And for reference, yeah, like I would rather them just get what they've got right now in a better state, for sure. For sure. I would rather this patch come out soon in a better state than them try to like push this whole patch with hangers before Invictus, if it's in the state they were talking about. Right? And because it is taking a while for well, it's not taking a while yet, but it feels rough on the PTU at the moment, and we've only got a month before Invictus, right? And so that feels like a tight window. It's probably not. In history, that's like a month in PTU is usually enough. We've only been in open PTU for like a week and a day, a week and 2 days. But and when I say open PTU, I mean like not Evocati. But yeah, we don't definitely. I prefer they don't, add this stuff in and make it worse.
Joining us, so Chad, we're just going to jump right into it. Tell everybody who you are, just in case somebody didn't see the show. Tell everybody who
is it just Chad?
What you do for Star Citizen, and what happened.
What happened?
So, starting with the easy questions. Yeah, my name is Chad McKinney. I'm a senior lead gameplay engineer, currently in the Los Angeles studio. mainly focused on Star Citizen, so I'm part of the core gameplay.
One
group.
chat is enough. No, it's just interesting.
Have
There's just chat. I thought they might have another dev or something.
CGP7, but we mainly focus on what I would say are like the.
I'm sure you can
features
answer
that
all the
make
questions.
Star Citizen like unique. So like
Chat
the
with
big
Chad.
MMO style gameplay features. Cargo is like certainly one of the big ones, one of the big careers, right? So our team is really focused on those features. And certainly over the last several years, that's been a really
For sure,
big focus
David.
for us.
Yeah.
So any of the big cargo stuff that you've seen coming out over that time, physicalized
For
cargo,
sure, yeah.
whole sea, all that
It's just
stuff
it
has been
sucks.
my team's
And
main
as
focus.
long as it does come out in a
But we've worked on a lot of
323.x,
other
I'm not
stuff
too
throughout the
mad.
years. But yeah, like so what happened with cargo? Well, the first thing I was like, hey, is like I don't know that there's anyone that's like more personally invested in seeing this like through than I am. So it was disappointing to come to the conclusion that we did need to pull it from 323 or push it into, you know, a point patch, but it was the right call. And there's a lot of factors that went into that. Just to kind of get into it, like the first thing is that it's a really, really big. It's not even, I don't even think you can call it a single feature set. It's like a whole change to the way that the game works from top to bottom in many different aspects.
I mean, we all know what happened with the last
whenever
Cargo
we
factor, right? That
concerted development on this last year.
It was massive.
You know, we come up with a certain schedule, and at the end of the day,
I don't know, Maps. I don't think we'll see 323
You know,
live
while
before
it
the end of
is
April.
disappointing to see,
maybe first, second, or week of
slip,
May. Depends
we're
on
really close. Actually,
what patches happen in the
it's
next
like
week.
it's kind of like throwing a dart at like a target like a mile away. You know, we are a bit off. We missed the target, but we're not so far off. It's not going to be like, you know, 6 months from now or anything like this. So it's a bit disappointing that it missed the release. But
April. As long as it gets there by October 20th.
we are really close.
That's 6 months.
But so like the first thing is just like it's big and it's hard to estimate and quite pin down all the unknowns and everything and make sure that like your dates are exact by the time the actual date comes up. So we're a little bit off on that part.
Just quickly, chat, do you reckon if we didn't have Invictus, this would have happened? I feel like it's the only thing that's giving them like an actual deadline. Or do you reckon they still might have done it just to be like, get a patch out? Yeah, no, Chad seems legitimately upset. Like, and like, yeah, I would be too. Going for a goal, right? Unfortunately, you don't get it. But like, based on what he's saying, like, it's not too far off, and that seems fine, you know. Or some sales that needs a patch, yeah. Probably not. I think we'd likely have a patch in June. Like, if we didn't have Invictus, you reckon it would just be one big patch in June? It's a very interesting dynamic. Thank you, Roman. It was part of the Subfest from November. We finally got our awards like yesterday. Showed them off at the start of stream. Of course they did, David. Like, it was such a massive patch. We were talking about for the last like 4 months, ever since we knew about what was going to be in the patch when they first announced it. We were like, yeah, like things are gonna get removed. And then nothing got removed until they said you won't be able to spawn your vehicles in the freight elevators. And then we were like, oh, okay. Sure. And then this got removed. So that makes sense. You know what I mean? That's not too bad. That is true, Roman, yes. It arrived, show it again. All right. I'm going to quickly show it again because there's a couple new people. So we have the Twitch hoodie. It's very warm. It's very fantastic. The big mega boom. The film camera that I'll be using, like the instant film camera, the instant film camera thingy. That thing. This shirt that's just purple and says Twitch. And it's nice. It's genuinely decent. Really nice. And because this is more like a snuggie, right? This is more of a snuggie. whatever the fuck they're called. We got this hoodie. Got my name on it. So there you go. There you go. Anyway. Got to hit Hankin up and get him to help you work out a command function for channel point redeems to push sounds through the mega boom with a Bluetooth radio USB dongle. That sounds like way too much effort already. Yeah, there you go. Anyway.
But there's also just been a lot of things that have happened
True,
during
Roman,
that
true.
time. Some of the stuff towards the end that have really informed that decision making are the fact that there's still some feature work that needs to be finished out. There's some iteration that we're still doing on certain aspects, or that we did on certain aspects of the design once we got things up and going. In particular, the freight elevator kiosk.
Yeah,
UI,
323 is still a monster
Bank
patch.
UI. Once
323 is still the most monster and also by far the most controversial patch I've at least seen for Star Citizen, all because of master modes and FPS. I don't think people are complaining about anything else really. But you know, that also tracks like how often do massive changes like that happen, right?
Once we played with them a bit, we realized we needed to update them and change them to make them a better experience. And then on top of that, in particular, the Hangar instancing, ASOP, and transit kind of flow graph there about going from all these different stages of gameplay had some stability problems. And it's the kind of thing that I really felt strongly that we can't go live with that being not really stable, because if we do, and it ends up being a problem, the game essentially becomes unplayable for the players. So it's not like, you know, if we went out with salvage and maybe there's some.
Are they shooting through the ground again, Lyrium?
With mining, or, you know, the rocks sometimes crash your client like that. That is really unfortunate.
That affects a small subset of people.
Yes. This is the kind of thing where the game could literally just be unplayable.
You can no longer summon your spaceships. You can no longer load your spaceships. It's a pretty heavy thing.
Lucky for me, I don't need spaceships.
Ever since 3.18, we've been a lot more cognizant of what kind of risk we want to take on whenever we're going into the release. So whenever we were coming up onto 3.23, we were really aware of how big this was, and also really aware of like the current state of 3.23 without all of that feature.
I do want to quickly say this is unrelated to what's happening here with the hangars and cargo and stuff. It's just about 3.23. People are really quick to forget what Wave 1 patches are like. I know we're in Wave 2 right now, but you know the wave system changed. Everything I've been hearing about the last couple of days is still pretty typical of early PTU patches. The time to be scared is when it gets to open PTU. That's the time to get scared. If the patch is completely unplayable or insanely unstable when it's open PTU, that's when we may have a really bad situation. But people forget it every patch cycle. Yeah, of course, Roman. I mean, of course they want to avoid 3.18. I think a lot of people here would hear during 3.18. It would be insane for them to say they don't want to avoid 3.18, you know? So, yeah. Invictus does need a live patch, yes. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, let's get more 3.18. Huh? Everyone talk about less 3.18? How about we bring it back? Huh? How about we go back? Maybe I'm a bit nostalgic for 3.18. Yeah, Aimless couldn't log in like the entire patch as well. Aimless got an enforced game break. Aimless was forced to not play for like months. It was terrible. Like it was crazy. So yeah, of course they want to avoid that. They would have wanted to avoid what happened in 3.18. You know what I mean? Like, anyway,
and because 3.23 was already needing some more time,
you'll take broken over master modes. Too bad.
And improve performance.
Too bad. Get wrecked.
We didn't want to just rush this.
Master modes is here to stay.
And then take something we already spent a certain amount of time hardening on 3.23 and then just destabilize it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, David.
Just like
it's
reset
weird,
our whole release kind of pipeline there, but also then taking on all the new risk for
Jose.
the cargo work. But we are in a child stream of the release stream. So that means that like we're ready to go. Anytime we want to, we can just pull the trigger and release it. We're right there. So it's not like it's stuffed away and you know, some development stream that's like, you know, still in a bunker somewhere. Like we're really close. It's going through the already, you know, certain steps of the release phase. It's just we weren't ready. We didn't want to integrate it because of the risk and already the state of 323 itself. But on top of that, like to be completely honest, this feature has been around like for quite some time.
I'll be ready for 3.
And there's been a lot of things that have happened just kind of outside the feature that have also contributed.
I'm related again. I still haven't downloaded and installed the new launcher. One day I'll do that. Yeah, no, but aimless, that's the thing. I just like it's not, it just feels like it's not worth worrying until like we're actually in a state of this is about to go live, you know.
Contributed to it. So like as people are probably aware, there's been some team restructuring, personnel changes, you know, changes.
I believe so, Raymond. Kind of but you have to download
direction
like,
that have, you know, in particular, I think impacted like the teams working on this feature set. So it's made it a challenge at times to, you know, stay focused on it and not be affected by all that, people changing, bringing people on board and getting them up to speed about, you know, the whole project and everything. So it's been a whole journey, but we're really close. It is disappointing to put in this much effort that we've put into it and then miss it, but I felt like it was the right call. So
I appreciate your candor on that. Folks in the chat right here are saying, oh, so they don't want another 318. They admit it. Yeah.
Bro, CIG admitted 318 was bad. Imagine. Crazy. These guys are wild. Fucking goddamn. Actual brain dead.
I mean, I don't think I did.
Yeah, we don't either.
I would not have thought that would have been a surprise to anybody or a mystery to anybody.
This just in: game developer likes it when people can play their game.
I'm often quoted as saying, you know, we have the same conversations that our backers have. I'm going to talk to you, John. I'm going to talk to them. We have the same conversations you guys do. We just have them a few weeks earlier. We have the same concerns. We have the same excitements. We take the same blows to the head. 323 hit us as much as it hit you in the heart and the head, in the feels. We don't want that to happen again. Is this me sitting here saying that it's never going to happen again? No, I'm not going to sit here and say
318 will never happen again, confirmed.
Everybody here is working very hard to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And decisions like this one are one of the things that have to be done in order to ensure that from time to time. So it is still 323. It is 323X. Whether that's 323.
Where would we be today if 318 disaster never happened? 4.0.
Too early to say. Whether that's
that's where we'd be, Jose.
Invictus, at Invictus, slightly after.
That's
Invictus.
A joke. Yeah,
but
still.
But yeah, like Chad said, it's all there. It's all still in the branch. It's basically when everything else is stabilized and secure and in a place that we're happy and whatever. Then it's like, okay, now let's introduce this new thing here and see how that affects things and fix those things. Because yeah, Chad made another great point. This is literally your ability to summon and access your spaceship. It's a fundamental change to the way everything moves in the persistent universe. So it is not a small feature, but 323.
Yeah, but to be fair, Aimless, that entire post-mortem is essentially saying
13, 14
we fucked up, it didn't work.
We got a bunch more coming.
Right.
It's a huge patch even without this. So we'll get all that stuff in, stabilize all that stuff. and then turn our attention back to this. Well, Chad's attention probably will never turn. All right, so with that, let's jump right into the questions here. This show was originally scheduled for 2 weeks ago, so we put up a thread and collected questions. We didn't have the show 2 weeks ago because Jared fell down and knocked himself out.
Yeah, for sure, David. It was a good time to put the game down, to be fair.
I knocked myself out.
Didn't 318 come out just before BG3 and shit? It did, right? Like, technically 319 was like literally just before, but like 319 came out like a month and a half after 318 or something, right? Like, it was really quick. So, like, yeah. Of all times to have an absolute garbage patch, it was not the worst time.
Got a concussion. Mostly back and normal now. Got a haircut. So we're going to jump into this.
I can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference between concussed Jared and non-concussed Jared? Neither could my mom. All right. So we collected a bunch of questions. We're going to just jump right in. The first series of questions, let's talk about the personal.
So the actual questions about the hangars that we had. Yeah, no, for sure, Aimless. Yeah, there was a lot of mini patches. The questions we had were, what happens if you get a larger ship? What happens to your hangar? Right, like the size of your hangar. What else did we have? That was a big one. That was probably the biggest one we had. Catch, Felix. Shit, I can't remember what the other questions were. So long ago. Like, yeah, I think that's the main one that I want answered.
Hangars for a while. We'll get into overall cargo gameplay and stuff. But we have a bunch of questions that are focused primarily on the hangars. So let's jump into those. One of the big questions folks had after they watched ISC was, how do we prevent unwanted people from getting into our personal
This was one a lot of people had. I didn't
obviously
think this was going to be
some kind
too hard of a thing.
security around the elevator and stuff. We record.
Like, I'm not too worried about what he's about to talk about here. I don't think this is an actual relevant issue until we have people like actively trying to grief landing zones a lot, and even then, like, I still don't think that's too much of an issue. But anyway,
recorded for ISC, but it didn't make the cut at the time. But also, what stops people from just charging the outer doors and getting in there? What can you tell us about
Steel Orions?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll say is with everything,
the trespass
like
system
the first
exists,
release of this. So what we come out with now isn't necessarily like our final vision or where we leave it. And I can tell you that we already are going to continue working on this after this release. So there's going to be more to be done all around. But for this release, the way that it's going to work is if somebody who is not in your party somehow ends up in your hangar, then what we'll do is we'll treat it kind of similar to the impounding behavior that we have for the landing areas, where they'll get a bit of a warning, but then soon thereafter, they're going to just get kicked out and teleported out into the station. If they're in a ship, the ship will get
bring back splines. Splines will fix it.
In Armistice,
I miss splines. Why did they remove splines? Was it an aesthetic thing that they just didn't like it for the vision of the game, or what? Because splines were only in the game for like 2 patches or something. Bring back splines. Bring back
zone, so the players won't be able to like draw weapons or shoot or anything like this. But
my question was, wouldn't a separate elevator for vehicles beside the cargo elevator be easier for players to use and for CIG to make than making elevator do both cargo and vehicles? Honestly, probably not. I genuinely would not be surprised, Citizen Ninja, if the answer is no. It wouldn't be easier. But I have no idea. It definitely would take up more space, and that would be its own issue. People bitched about them, but why? It was so cool. But they were so cool. Why can't people like the same things that I like? Anyway.
Excuse me. But we do want to make sure that like players aren't just, murdering each other in there. but we can do better. Like I said, we want to have improved security.
For sure, Ninja, but yeah, I wouldn't be
and
surprised if
make
the
it
answer
a
is no,
more,
it's not easy.
less gamey
Slash,
kind of
it just takes up too
experience
much
to have
space.
heightened security in there.
But
it is
either way, that's not
just
the
gonna
route
be
they're
using
going.
the impounding
You know what I mean?
and teleporting behavior for this release.
Does that include? So obviously, there's some time limit. There's some time period, a couple seconds, or whatever. If I grab some, if I get in there really fast and I pick something up before I'm impounded, do I teleport out with my stolen booty?
You will, but I mean, it'll be considered stolen at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's more to be done there. I think to make that like a more well-founded experience.
There's not much
but,
advantage
for
to
now,
just
yeah,
doing
you'll
random.
get it,
Like you think that it'll increase ramming Moldan? It probably won't, because there's not really going to be an advantage to doing it. Like the precautionary measures for people stealing your stuff makes sense, because there's an advantage to someone to steal your thing. Ramming is just a meme. It's just griefing, right? So that would be the amount of ramming that would happen would be exactly the same. If not less, if the impounding measures actually work. But you know, Star Citizen, so actually working is a whole thing.
It will have been stolen. I think it'll probably prove challenging to do a lot there, like in practice. But I'm not going to be surprised when we go live. I'm sure there's going to be some people who are going to try to grief things, and we might have to react in particular.
So you hate griefers,
but it's just one of those things where we need to spend more time with it to make a more well-founded, like full solution there. So we're going with the kind of easy or quick but clean solution of just like, yeah, just teleport people out and just, you know, don't try to be too clever about it.
Ryukishin in chat.
I know that name.
Challenge accepted, Chad. Like
All right.
there's going to be an array of lightning fast thieves trying to get in and grab stuff before. It'll become a challenge. It'll become the 323 personal hangar thievery challenge. Watch, it'll happen. In the chat they asked, okay, so that's how intruders. What about group members, party members? What's their access to your hangar like?
Yes.
Yeah, so if they're in a party with you, if someone's in a party with you, they have access to your hangar, even if you're not there. So, let's say like my home location.
Okie dokie. They have access to it even when you're not there. So then the question becomes, so like, cool, that's good. Now the question becomes, can they do like the same thing but for orgs? Like, can you make an org party system so they always have access to your hangar? I feel like that theoretically wouldn't be too much of a stretch at that stage. Well, then don't party up with randos, Australia. You fool. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's let him keep talking.
Is Area 18, and Jared, you're in a party with me. You can go to Area 18 and you'll have access to my hangar.
Well, they're doing
pugs.
pugs.
When I'm not there, you can go in while I'm there. You can use the freight elevator kiosk while you're in there. You can use the item bank. We want to make multi-crew gameplay as seamless as possible.
Build a trip mine maze and invite friends.
We were definitely really thinking about throughout the whole process. Effectively, the way that it'll work is when you go to the access elevator in the station and you call the elevator, you're not going to get a list of every hangar at the station. Like, I can't just go to somebody else's hangar randomly. Rather, what has to happen is I need to be in a party with them. And then when I go in the hangar, I'll see my hangars in the elevator list and any party members' hangars in my list as well. This is also another way that we tamper down on some of the griefing. It doesn't get rid of it immediately. Like, I'm totally aware that someone can just walk into the elevator. But the point is that you can't just, without someone there, use the elevator and go to somebody else's hangar like independently. However, you can do that if you're in a party with them. That's also a way to manage kind of the rights. So if like you're in a party with somebody and they end up misbehaving, all you need to do is actually just like kick them from your party, and very quickly they'll just be removed from the hangar and kicked out. So it's a way for the players to kind of control some of the access that they're giving to
definitely
other players.
Yeah, Australia, there definitely needs to be more.
We do want to make sure that it feels
more control in there, like let someone in your party but they don't have access to your hangar, etc. But anyway,
yeah, and again, we actually had a whole thing recorded.
That feels more like a quality of life thing, honestly.
It just, for whatever reason,
So
it didn't make
hopefully it
the
happens.
show, and we knew we were having the follow-up here, so I'm glad we got to cover it. For 323, the personal hangar, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Just the leader, Australia. But if you aren't the leader, then you can just leave the party, and then they'll be trespassing. Like, let's say I invite you into my party, right? So I'm the leader. I go into your hangar, and then I'm fucking up your stuff, and then you're like, Crunchy's a jerk. You can just leave party, and then I'm now trespassing in your hangar, and so it should kick me out. Or at least give me crime stat or whatever.
This is still not the end-all and be-all of this work. Like anything else for Star Citizen or any MMO, the work continues to iterate and evolve beyond this. For 323, your personal hangar.
Well, I imagine Australia.
Home hangar. It's at your.
I imagine Australia. You say, "Hey guys," or you say to whoever the leader is, "Hey, this guy's being a jerk and is stealing from me. Can we kick him, please?" And then at that point, that's not a CRG fault if the person doesn't get kicked. That's you've actually ended up joining like a group that's a piece of shit. You know? Yeah. There'll be. It sounds like there'll be more stopgaps or whatever in the future.
It's at your home base, whether it's Area 18 or Microtech or Lorville or whatnot. And the size that you get is based on the largest ship that you currently own at the time that you log in and pick it. The next question says, what happens if you buy a larger ship after that? What happens to your hangar if you end up buying a ship that's too big for the hangar that you've been assigned?
Yeah, great question. It's one of those things that like I should have gone into more detail on in the ISC. It's funny, even when my wife watched it, that was the very first question that she asked me after it was done. So like I know everybody was like,
yeah, it's a very obvious
immediately,
question.
Well, what if I get another ship or whatever? So yes, we've thought about that. For this release, again, this is just the first release. We're gonna improve on this aspect of it. For this release, the way that it will work is if you buy a new ship, whether that be outside the game or in-game with in-game currency, and then you go to request that ship, you can't do it if the hangar isn't large enough. So instead, what would happen is you would be given what we call a public hangar. And a public hangar is similar to a personal hangar, just the difference is that if you were to leave the location, anything that you left in that hangar will be cleaned up and thrown away.
Which I imagine also public hangars are what you have at every other location that's not your home location, right? Presumably.
So you can't treat it like your personal hangar. Like the personal hangar, you can decorate and leave all this stuff everywhere. You log out of the game, log into the game, it's all still there, etc. The public hangars aren't like that, although they're not really that different. And what I mean by that is one of the things I didn't have time to really go into in the ISC is, how does all this work when you're not at your home location and you're not using a personal hangar? Let's say my home location.
Yeah, I imagine it works pretty much exactly like how it works now.
Land.
Right.
Those are still persistent hangars. They're just not your personal hangars. And the distinction here is just that if I were to take my ship and land at Bajan Point, and then I'm given a public hangar while I'm at Bajan Point, while I'm there, anything that I leave in there is going to stay in the hangar. So let's say I just drop a bunch of boxes on the ground and then go into the station to sell some commodities or whatever, or do anything else, me and my friend. Then I go back to the hangar. The stuff in that hangar is still there. If I'm going to log out of the game and log back into the game, I actually still have my stuff there. It's only when I purposefully leave the location that stuff is taken away. So that's a public
interesting. So I would imagine then, because that is very different. So I would imagine then that all hangars are instanced now. It's just only your personal hangar doesn't do cleanup, pretty much. And the cleanup only happens if you leave the location. That's what it sounds like to me, you just said. Right? Interesting. Very interesting. All right, cool. Yeah, that changes a lot of stuff. And I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. And then obviously, like, it does kind of suck that you don't get a larger hangar. In this patch, was his specific wording. In this patch, you will not get a larger hangar. I hope that you can buy larger hangars in the future. What is the trigger for leaving? Yeah, true. I mean, I guess that's just something we'll have to test. I imagine it'll be, you know, one of those things where it's like you know how when you whatchamacallit, when you do your like display info 1 in the top right, it'll tell you your like location. I imagine it's when you leave whatever area that location is tied to. However far away from the location it is.
Look, Hangar.
And when you say taken away, what do you mean?
You lose them. They're forfeit. Yeah.
So don't leave your
it's
stuff
something that we want to improve on.
Buy rent will be possible later. Okay.
What we would prefer to have.
That's what I had imagined. And so I'm fine with that.
And in fact, I'll get to that in just a moment. So that if you leave, it's more like you kind of have to like buy it out of impounding, you know, or pay like the fee for the storage costs. For now, it's just they're going to be discarded. You will get a warning when that happens, so that you know that you're going to lose that stuff if you were to leave it on the ground accidentally in the public hangar. But for now, you're just going to lose them. But the kind of what my point was with bringing all that up regarding your own ship is that it's going to be the same behavior as if you were to go to a different location in the game, but that is still a somewhat persistent experience anyways while you're there. It's just not, it's what we won't do, and where I think some people have, you know, kind of imagineered is that like we would like grow your hangar magically larger and like rearrange the things. Like we're not going to do that. And instead,
yeah, I didn't think that would do that either. I was thinking that like
is to add a whole pipeline and feature set for upgrading your hangars, including like moving things around, and on top of that, renting the hangars at other locations in the game. Like it's not the
multiple hangars,
that the hangars are only at the initial home locations. It's just where we're starting now because we don't have the time to implement all of the feature work and back end that's needed for rentals and upgrades.
Yeah.
With including like fees and all overtime and all this stuff. So
fees over time, aka money sinks.
Hell yeah. That you're going to have the one at the home location now, but in the future, absolutely, we want players to use this as a way of like kind of having a sense of progression in the game, so that when you're playing, you can accrue wealth. You can then use that wealth to expand your kind of area of influence and where you can, you know, have extra inventories, have extra storage locations, and kind of spread throughout. And I think this will become especially important once we bring more solar systems online. You're definitely going to want to have, I think, more hangars across the different solar systems in the game. So this is just step one. It's not the final, you know, stop in this progression. We know where we're going. It's just trying to find the way to carve up the feature to still hit an initial release. So this is one of those things that we kind of, you know, took a step back, simplified it for now. But we're going to do more.
Okay. No, it's a good answer.
I imagine so. Tilted Turtle, yeah.
Mentioned that.
I imagine so. Reference, he said it'll likely be translated to player hubs. And yeah, that makes sense.
And access your inventory or access the freight alerts. Will they be able to access their own stuff inside your hangar?
Ooh.
Yes.
Question.
So if someone is in a party with you and they end up in your
that is something I did not think about, but it is very important, because that means if you're going like, all right, crew, we're crewing up the Hammerhead. Billy, you've got all the good weapons. I'm going to need you to grab all the weapons. Steven, you've got all the meds. I'm going to need you to grab all the meds. Sandig, you've got all the ships. But no, that's good. That's good. Hell yeah.
Hangar, they can use the freight elevator kiosk, and when they use it, they'll access their own inventory. And if they were to use an item bank in the hangar, they'll access their own inventory when using the
item bank. Makes sense. But yeah, the fact that they can use the freight elevator is good.
Started working on, and in fact had working, was having them also access your inventory. So like if we were in a party, you could come to my hangar and then have the choice in the UI about whether you want to take things using the freight elevator kiosk from your inventory or my inventory. But we had some concerns about like security, given that
Australia
membership isn't maybe as strong.
Stephen bought the meds on the black market, so effectively it's not guaranteed.
We're doing things with people that are it's a little bit maybe too much power to give to somebody just because they're in a party with you to have them access your own inventory. So we still want to do that part. We just want to add more security and authorization functionality to be able to say, okay, for this person, they can access my inventory, they can't. So we want more as far as like permissions before introducing that part. But sort of they will absolutely be able to access their own inventory in your hangar.
That sounds like you've played with Sean Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He will just jack all your stuff.
And smile the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, he's very happy about it. Very happy when he does it. How many home hangars can a player have, and can they change their location after they choose them?
Just the one for now, and no, they can't change the home location for this release.
Yeah, imagine it'll be
once
wipes.
you get it, that's the one that you have. Again, in the future,
even just like database wipes,
do more
right?
For upgrading and rental.
Yeah,
I imagine.
We'll think about like moving. I'm not sure how I feel about that for the initial one. So there's still a bit of design thought about like every single corner case there about what we want to allow for players. But for now, for 323.x, you're not going to be able to move the persistent hangar location.
Yeah. So that answer was very candid and truthful. But I want to make sure that that's understood, because when people make this decision, I want to make sure that everybody knows to consider it. When you start, when this patch launches, you will get a decision to choose your new starting location for the duration of 323 until whatever comes next.
Oh, how's Vulcan doing at the moment, chat?
Area 18,
I haven't done that since Wednesday.
Or Microtech or Hurston or whatnot. You are locking in your persistent hangar, your persistent personal hangar, for the duration of that patch until additional functionality comes on. So
I gotta choose Microtech.
don't lose that information and for the folks who are making the 7-minute cut down version, make sure that gets in there.
Okay. Indeed, and just to kind of preempt another, I read everything. I know like every question you guys have thought about, like I already know it all. So like, and another thing that people have raised as concerns is, pirates. Like, what if I'm a pirate and I don't want to like set my home location as forever to be Area 18? I'm going to go to Grimhex. Am I just screwed? Do I not get a personal hangar? The answer is, again, like for 323, we just don't have the functionality to allow for those other locations to have them. But it's not that we don't want to allow that. Like we do want to. It's just not going to be in this particular release.
Are there plans to allow personal hangars that are not at the major landing zones?
Well, he just answered that.
In the chat, folks are asking about Grimhex, but possibly either at stations or smaller ground locations.
Ground location would be sick. Like if you, he's going to answer in a sec, but if you could set your home location as one of the like colonial outposts on Pyro, especially the one that looks like fucking most likely Spaceport, where it's got the little like circular outdoor hangar. That'd be a sick spot to set home.
Essentially, anywhere you can spawn a ship that has anywhere that has hangars will have personal hangars. Like that's the long and short of it. So the rest stops, Grimhex.
It sounds like then. No colonial outpost is my home.
Prevalent thing to give the player options. Of course, we'll come up with our own decision making as far as the economics of it. Perhaps we will consider maybe charging more or less, or having different dynamics for the rental aspect of it, or whatever. But we want it to be a very open thing. We don't want it to be constrained. Like,
sorry, chat. Still an hour left of this.
Thing that I've seen people, comment on is that we're trying to push people to play on the landing areas on the planets. That we're putting a lot of focus to keep people on the planets. That's not actually our goal here. It's just what we needed to do to get this done for this particular release. We want people to be able to go out in the universe and claim some part of it.
Man, it's just a lot easier because they're
reference that's not.
They're in one spot. Demented Leaper. Oh, sorry, Demented Jeeper. Thanks so much for the tier 1. Appreciate it. Yeah, I imagine they wanted to do it in the landing zones because they're. I guess they also turn. I don't know. Anyway.
On a planet, we want to empower that. We want you to feel like you can go somewhere else and call that place your home, Grimhex, Pyro, whatever.
Yeah.
And have multiple even, so that you can bounce around. So if you're spending a period of time in one region of the game, especially like once we get multiple solar systems, we don't want you to feel like overly punished because you just have this one location and you'll never go back to it because it's so far away. We want it to feel like basically we're balancing here, and this is, I think, also kind of gets to the core of Star Citizen as a game, which is we're threading this needle of a simulation and a enjoyable game experience. So we want to make physicality and inventory tie into that and make the game feel tangible, give you important decisions to consider, have risks involved with certain decisions, so that you have to be thoughtful and
wonder how it'll change once we get homesteads.
All aspects of the game. So like, for example,
player housing.
I have a bunch of inventory as far as like the guns and loadouts.
I imagine we'll be able to build hangars
home location
in our homesteads.
If I'm gonna go take a bunch of missions, it's on the other side of the solar system. We want you to actually think about that, and then when you're over there, you don't have as many options as you had before. You can't just quickly change out your loadout. You can't necessarily quickly stock up unless you thought about it ahead of time, right? So we want you to be thinking about it. At the same time, we don't want it to just be super punishing so that you play for like 30 minutes, die once, and then just feel like, okay, I'm just done here. I don't want to play this game anymore. We're trying to find that balance to make it an interesting, fun experience, have those simulation aspects where it feels like a real space game. It's not magical. You can't just summon a thing out of thin air. There are important reasons why you need to think about what you take with you, but it's not overly punishing, which is like a different track than other games. Like as an example, like a game like Diablo 4 or like
thanks everyone who watched my new video, by the way.
Classic.
I should probably update my
big games
thing
like that game. You just have like this invisible inventory. I mean, you access it from a chest, but the point is you can access it literally anywhere in the world, and it's all the same inventory, and that makes sense for that game, right? They have different problems. They have different play patterns that they want to encourage, but for the game that we want it to be a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more tactile, but not as super punishing as maybe like a Escape from Tarkov or something.
Yeah. Choice matters. You obviously want the choices to matter. You want people to benefit from good choices, and you want people to struggle with poor choices. And as always, you bring it to that point of realism, and then you bring it back to the point of fun. And that area is always the hardest part to find. I see.
Did you know? People have
the person that
different ideas of fun.
Twitter algorithm's been putting in my feed, even though I try not to see him all the time.
I know exactly who he's talking about.
The Game of Thrones guy.
I don't mind.
But I'm talking about the game not being.
I was talking about a Star Citizen person.
Certain aspects, yes, we want to push them to be more simulation-like, and as close as we can get within the confines of giant shared server MMO technology, and then bring it back to the point of fun and stuff like that. So there's always that balance there. Greasy Khaleesi. Took me a while. I remembered your name.
Oh.
Get out of my feed.
Yeah, I keep seeing them on Twitter.
Lobotomy.
Greasy called the fuck out. Called the fuck out. Anyway.
Lobotomy in the chat asks, how are you going to make finding a party member's hangar not a scrolling contest in the elevator if you're in a large party?
Yeah, so whenever you go to the elevator access in the station, when you call the elevator, that carriage is your carriage. So when it shows up, it only has the stops in it that you have access to. So by
Ooh,
default,
interesting.
if you start in your home location, like area 18 in this example I keep using, then I would go in, and if, let's say, I had
Let's see
a
if that works.
account that the largest ship on it was a Drake Cutlass, then I would go in and I would have a medium hangar that I would see in that list. It would say, you know, whatever, Cthulhu, Dark Cthulhu Lords, medium hangar, because I've
Dark
like,
Cthulhu Lord,
something edgy like that. So the point is that like I'll see my hangar in there, but nobody else's. When I'm in a party with somebody and then I call that hangar, I'll see their hangars at that location there as well as mine. But unless you have like a lot of party members, that list is not going to be long. And in fact, it's going to be much smaller usually. Usually it's going to be like 1 or maybe 2, maybe 3, you know. I am totally aware that there are people that go out into the server and they just make, you know, this giant single server party. That person, if you're in that party, yes, you'll go in and you'll see like 100 in that list. I don't know. I guess in that case, you're going to have a little bit of a rough time, but this is obviously a pretty big corner case. So yeah, that's the main mechanism.
That will get resolved as the feature continues to develop, and people can choose more locations. Right now in 323, they're limited to the 4 primary locations, but as people begin to be able to choose different locations for their primary personal hangar and whatnot, that problem will get.
I mean, other than a pirate, who here in this chat, other than pirates, because I recognize the value of like Grimhex and stuff, who would choose a home in the current patch that isn't a land location, that isn't Babbage, Area 18, Lawville, or Orison? Because I feel like those are the best places to have your home anyway. You've got better access to shops. You've got better access to commodities. But then it's such a chore for you to do everything. If you ever need to buy anything, you've got to go around all over the place. Instead of just chucking it in your house. Just chuck it in your home. Oh, they need to buy it once there? You don't, though. You need to buy ammo, guns, modules, new ships, all that stuff. Stations don't have more convenience. I disagree entirely. Stations have less shops. They have less commodities. If you set your home to Orison, you can't buy ships there. No, but you do get access to better commodities. You get access to the what's it called? The place where they redo the Krakens. Raven Crows something. Cousin Crows. Like a ton of your things that you need are available in those locations. How often do you need to use a shop though? A lot. So much. But especially commodities. Commodities are the big one. Because you do a lot of trading. But I guess if that's not relevant, then sure. Fair enough. A lot of you have, like, my question was who would, and I guess a lot of you would. You're all wrong, but I guess I guess the what is it? Not the need, but the yeah, enough of you would want it, so. You don't have to do that at Lawville either. Moldan. The same at Lawville. It's just one tram. Lawville has worse shops than Area 18 though, but Lawville's more center. But yeah, fair enough. You guys said that you'd want it, so fair enough.
So yeah,
and actually, I'll use this as an opportunity to kind of re-impress a point, which is that it's only the ones at that location that you have access.
Yeah. Lawville is worse than Area 18 because Area 18 has the better shops.
And I have a party member whose personal home hangar is at Area 18.
It's not going to show up.
Yeah, it won't show up.
Yeah.
So like it's tied to the location. So for that reason, it does get parsed out. And if as you were to say, in that 100-person server, unless all 100 people pick the same home location, it's still going to be spread out amongst all the locations that they all picked independently.
No, Bayesian Point is not a new station. He's saying Bajini.
Oh, sorry, Bajini. Yeah.
This comes up a lot. Half the developers here
Calliope.
The term Hurston, folks. They call it Stanton.
I know the term Hurst.
But no. But I'm saying there's internal names for stuff.
Chad having to defend himself.
That's what folks are knowing. Like the number of times I'm going to be on the show, like, okay, which one's Stanton 2? Stop saying Stanton.
Arson does have an armor shop. It's called the Enemies Discovery Center,
that's what we
or wherever they call it.
So you can give Chad crap for all kinds of stuff, not for not remembering the specific name of front-facing name of something that doesn't exist on the internal stuff.
That weirdly made me remember something happened in like gaming in the last couple of days that I wanted to talk about, and I've forgotten. I think I've forgotten completely what it was. Oh well. Anyway. Fair, Dominion, fair. I never buy it because I've got the orange one.
How many people so these parties can be pretty big. Is there a occupancy limit inside the personal persistent hangars?
Reasonable question.
No, I mean it's not like it's not like we go to a club and it's like, oh no, met occupancy, you're gonna have to wait.
Calliope.
There's nothing like that. It's if it fits, it sits. If you can cram 100 people in there, or at least attempt to, like, you can do it. But that's no different than right now in the game. If you wanted to go into a small hangar and try to get 100 people in the server to walk into the hangar, you could try it, right? There's nothing that's going to stop you, and that's the same thing here.
Yeah. I'm imagining what an entire hangar entire server crammed into one hangar, and
yes, let's do it. 323.
Knock on the door?
2.
Is somebody knocking at the door?
I'm going to take you away.
Is there somebody at the door? Just heard a knock at the door. It's not a gimmick, right?
I heard that too.
Having me on? It was just a big knock at the door. All right.
I did hear that too.
Something concussed Jared.
Yeah, maybe. Did I say? Is it going to come from that?
Yeah, that was a knock.
Is that a knock on the door? Is somebody knocking at the door?
I'm going to take you away.
Is there somebody at the door?
Small hangar rave. Yeah, let's get the tiniest hangar. We'll get everyone
gimmick,
in there.
right?
Hell yeah.
Nobody's having me on? It was just a big knock at the door. All right. So let's see.
Something concussed Jared.
Fair captain.
Yeah, maybe. Did I say a swear? Is that somebody coming after me? All right. So we've already. Okay. More people theory crafting here. If a player is inside their ship, inside their personal hangar, and they log out from the ship bed, where do they wake up when they come back in? Has the ship been stored?
Curious.
Yeah. So. In this case, it won't be back in the hangar for this particular release. Again, this is just one of those.
True remind, yeah.
Where,
I will admit, living at a jump gate station would actually be sick as fuck. I would love to live at one of the jump point stations, just because the scenery is dope as fuck, and you'll get to see like all of the like. Because it's a bit of a funnel for players, you'd get to wake up, go to the window, and just see the players like traveling through the jump points. That would actually be sick as hell. So good point, Riamoin. I in fact would 100% choose that if I could. like DS9, yeah.
And how the Hangar instancing works and considerations across shards and server meshing and all of this. So for now, no, it won't be that like if you were to log out in your
traffic watching will be my new loop too.
Back in, you're going to end up in your
hell yeah, Mackie Muse.
But
let's go.
We do want to revisit logging in and out with the hangars in particular. So that's something that we're going to be absolutely looking at more specifically. And if anyone's kept up with my hot take commentary on Spectrum, they'll know there's already some discussions like more broadly about login flow, and this definitely ties into it about like just generally how logging in is supposed to work in the game. And hangars are an important aspect of that, but we're thinking much broader than that. We're thinking the whole game. So we also need to be thinking about things like HABs, like bases, all of it. So
bases I mentioned just
this
before.
Is definitely an aspect, but in this particular
about halfway through chat,
it's not going to work out like that. You'll end up just
keep in mind we will be hopping onto the PTU after this.
I mean, as it is right now, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you try to bed log in a ship in the hangar, it doesn't let you because to try to avoid it gives you a restriction, whatever. But yeah, as these things become more of a home for players, as they begin to decorate it and it's like this, I can see the desire for that behavior to change, which is probably where that question comes from.
Absolutely.
Can we equip weapons in our personal hangars despite the armistice zones?
True. Is that changing?
No, I'm laughing a bit because there was actually something of a bug
there was,
that we had recently with people being able to draw weapons in the green zones. But,
apparently not Windows.
No,
apparently Cloud's got a big improvement.
Going to be possible. You will be able to use the tractor beams in your in the hangars to be able to move things around, but you're not going to be able to pull out a gun. It's not going to be like a stand your ground law zone type situation. For now, that's something that we revisit. I could see maybe a different location in the game, like Grim Hacks, maybe a more pirate focused place, having a little bit more
it does the
stand your ground type.
So this is so irrelevant, but it does the thing
you can do. But for the moment,
it's got a gradient.
You can use your tractor beam, and that's it.
I had to live in space on a moon and by the code pistol somewhere other than Grim Hacks Crow 1. It reminds me of the handgun
maybe
one.
Unpack that a little bit is because people are going to still be able to get in, through these slightly corner case ways, like someone can just fly in or someone can just walk into the carriage. If they can draw their gun, then while we can punish them for that, they could just walk up, shoot you in the head, kill you while you're just hanging out there moving cargo. And then yes, they're going to get punished, but like for someone that's like griefing, they got what they wanted, right? It doesn't matter if they ended up dying or even going to prison for a period of time. They kind of got what they wanted out of that situation. So we're just not going to have that here for now. We'll revisit it again whenever we have better improved security mechanisms and more opportunity to consider all the design.
But will we be able to
Gotcha. So when you use
so we just will not be able to equip that stuff. We're just gonna have to move it onto our ship. That's super annoying. How are we supposed to equip the weapons and stuff then?
The item bank, and you call up a rocket
probably about
launcher.
to answer.
The rocket launcher comes up in a crate.
No, I mean you can access them. You just can't raise them and shoot.
Okay, yeah, you can equip them. You can't pull them out. Cool. That's fine. Living at a jump gate station would be wild. That's what I'm saying, David. Be so sick.
Somebody with it, right?
And that's why I take back everything I said earlier.
You can have the gun on your back. You can get the gun out. You can use the tractor beam. You can hold it.
You can load the guns onto the gun racks in the ship and stuff.
Yeah. So all of that's fine.
That's
you just
fine.
Can't literally raise the gun and point it at somebody and pull the trigger. That's the thing that you can't do.
Okay.
The way he was talking, he made it sound like we couldn't
personal hangar questions
equip them.
before we get to the more cargo related stuff. What does all
this right
mean
now
for
you can't pick up a gun if it's in armistice. You're unable to pick up the gun, right? So the only way it'll work is if it comes out in a storage box, which, for reference, is how the gear storage works. So that's fine. You'll be able to equip it. So you'll be able to equip it from your gear storage. Cool. I imagine that means you wouldn't be able to equip it from your Freight elevator, though, unless it's in a box in your freight elevator. Because then you could use it. Like, you could use the regular inventory. Anyway.
Or OG hangar flare items. Can we use them to decorate our personal hangars? How can we decorate our personal hangars?
So
with the upcoming subscriber flare.
Who remember the old OG hangar flare? I remember way back in the day, and we had, you know, fish tanks and the jukeboxes and all of that. And in fact, my team was the team that worked on a lot of that stuff way back in the day. And
wait, how long Chad McKinney been in the project?
To the point that we ended up removing it. It was implemented in a way that was very like divergent from where the rest of the game was going as a more persistent game. So it definitely has a special place in my heart, like, a lot of that stuff. Unfortunately, this release, we're not going to have like revisited that. The prop team would need to go back and
he gets more than 2 weeks.
Rebuild some aspects of it because they're quite old at this point. There's a lot of changes in the way some of the features work, especially things regarding interactions and usability and all of that. So there's some work there on the props and interactables team to be done, and they've been really focused on the mainline feature work for this release. So it's not something that we've had the time to get to, but it's not something that we've forgotten about. Like, definitely we you know, remember those things fondly. But it is kind of easier actually sometimes to make new things rather than like revisit a lot of old things. So one of the things that we are adding in this release.
Hey Chad, if I get 1,000 copians and put them in my persistent hangar, how's that for decoration? I feel like, I imagine AI probably won't persist with persistent hangars, but we'll see.
Is furniture. So you are going to be able to buy furniture in game at certain locations and then be able to decorate.
It's about to ask them, sweet, lovely.
Couches and stuff like this. So you'll still have some things that are more social, that are more, you know, interesting, make it feel a little bit more homey to decorate your hangar with. And otherwise, I look forward to all the fun shenanigans that people get up to with where they end up putting these things. But it's not like, we definitely want to encourage that kind of thing. We want players to feel like this is their home. We want players to have some fun things to be able to decorate and place throughout the world. But for now, it's going to be the newer furniture, not the OG hangar.
Yeah, imagine they have to remake the old stuff.
It's a good rule of thumb for managing your expectations. If you can pull it out and hold it in your hands today, then yes. If you can't physically manipulate it in the game in 3.22.2 or whatever patch we're on, then no, that's the stuff that's still waiting to be brought in. That's basically the process. They got to go back. This stuff was built, like I said, so a lot of it was built by our old friends at Behavior. Shout out to Dave Richard and Christine March way back when. You know, it was built specifically for the hangar module. It wasn't built to be handled, you know, with you know, hands and IK and stuff like that. I almost used up my second swear. So that stuff's all got to be converted. It was also built in a different way, different metrics, different processes back then. So
space Pokemon, bro. Give me some space Tamagotchis.
I've seen the zoo. They've built what we call it a zoo. It's this giant level that's just all of the hangar flare, and they've been slowly, when an artist finishes on a task and he or she has like 2 days before the next task is ready for them to begin, they'll go over to that zoo and start working on converting another one. So it is a thing that's in process. It's very, very slow, and it's one of those things that because that was Star Citizen when I started on. So like Chad, we have a big affinity for a lot of that old stuff. I want my stupid jukebox. I want my calendar. I want my calendar that tells me what day of the week it is in 2014. And stuff like that to work. And I hope they don't fix that. I hope it still just tells you what day it is in 2014.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb, I think, for the players. Like, if you can manipulate it in game now, it's something that you'll be able to gain access to and manipulate it. Then there are going to be some things that you won't be able to move without putting them into an inventory container box that I mentioned, I think, on the ISC. So there are going to be some things that you can't just spawn into the world, mainly because just the art honestly, and like the kind of gameplay setup of the thing wouldn't allow it. There's just some things right now that really.
Well,
want
fish
it
haven't been
to be
fed since they
independently
removed the Hangar
spawned,
module.
as opposed to, like,
Oh
attached
god,
to
they're all
something.
dead.
But
Not the goldfish.
there's if you can.
I think
play
when
with
I
it
started
now
was like maybe
and manipulate
3
it,
patches,
then
like
you'll
small,
have-
very, very small
I've been-
patches
I've been-
before the
I've been
Hangar
chasing
module
Steve.
got
I've been
removed.
torturing
And even then,
Steve Bender to
like,
take
it
that
wasn't
old,
anything. No one
a
bothered because it
towel,
was
one of
broken.
Hitchhiker's
Like, it was there, but it was
towels from the
broken.
old thing, and make a melee weapon out of it. He ignores me and walks the other direction.
Statuette of an NPC standing on a chair. That would unironic, like, that is a very funny way to, like, sort of honor, you know, all these past years, is like, do that. Get some NPCs T-posing on chairs.
Happens more and more the longer I'm here, quite honestly. All right, so let's jump into some more cargo-specific gameplay. Chad, are you okay if we go a little bit over the past?
Happy to.
There? Okay.
Yeah, like what's gonna happen actually is like once I'm done with here, I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna hop on.
No,
a
actually,
plane,
this
and I'm
cold. I
going
just wanted to see what the hoodie looked like
in Chicago.
in my head.
So,
Right.
I'm good.
Okay, so we'll take some. We'll do some extra time. We'll put some extra bonus time on this one because there are
bonus round.
For folks. How does manual or auto loading work at outposts, scrapyards, and other non?
True. I imagine it's the same.
Great question. The answer.
Freight
is
elevators and
no.
paying.
If there's not a hangar, you won't have auto loading as an option. That is a feature, not a bug. Like the point is that like a small outpost is not the kind of place where you're going to be doing large trades. We're going to be this is something I'm not sure I got quite into as much detail on the ISC, but one of the big changes that we're making about how you buy cargo is
I mean, that's how it
changing
works,
it
Longboy,
from being
unfortunately.
a raw resource allocation
Until everything
so
gets
you won't just be picking
solidified.
like 3 SEU and then have the system like automatically figure out the configuration of cargo that you would need to put that into your ship. Rather, the places in the game are going to have certain stock, and that stock will include the box size. So the outposts, the smaller locations in the game are going to only trade in smaller volumes and smaller box sizes. So like 1 SEU, 2 SEU. And the idea is that like those places, you're going to just manually load it yourself. And you wouldn't show up with a C2 and fill it with like 700 SEU,
Yeah, exactly right,
1 SEU boxes and then
The
have
way
it
it is.
automatically pack it for you. That's not the point of that location in the game. It's not the route that we want that to satisfy. It's not what we want to do is differentiate the game. We want the locations in the game to serve different roles. We want there to be a reason to go to different places in the game, and we want there to be a reason to use different ships in the game. If you're a player that owns multiple ships, you will be now rewarded for, you know, good decision making as far as like your trade route considerations and your location consideration.
Shempasta, thank you for the 26-month tier 1. Let's just give it a second.
Why are we here? What are we here for? Is this live? Not like this, 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 not like this.
Not like this. David, yes. Yeah. So like Shubin 18 would not have auto loading, but anywhere with a hangar would. Distribution centers have hangars. So, and that makes sense. A distribution center would have the resources to do that shit, right? Thank you very much for the 26-month though, Shempasta. Giga Chad.
And your ship choices.
I am really hoping that we can get this month as our first month of Partner Plus Mini, which is 100 sub points in the month. If we don't, it's still been a sick month regardless. But I'm hoping we can get there. So thank you for subbing.
And on top of that, if you party with people, you're going to benefit from let's say,
remember that's
choices
non-gifted,
as a group.
non-prime. It's
And
very
if
hard to
you're
get
on
to.
a larger ship, you're going to benefit
Because we got a lot of
from
primers in chat,
So
and I love my primers. Nothing like a free sub.
Like
you
a
know?
giant hangar there that
Nothing like a free
sucks
sub.
your ship into it and then just magically
We're like 40 away, Chef.
huge
But
amount of
yeah,
cargo volume that's like, I guess,
it's
just
a bit,
hidden underground or something. That's not really the point of those locations. On the flip side, a bigger trade route location like the LEOs, which are a hub for feeding the landing areas, those are meant to be big routes. So like they are going to support automatic loading. We want there to be big ships that go there and get these big amount of loads and haul them around. But for those, we would like them to deal in the kinds of box sizes that make sense for high volumes. So like the 24, the 32 SEU boxes. Think of it like this: like you wouldn't show up to. I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm gonna drop a reference. I don't know if anybody knows what a Loves is, but it's like a
Loves
stop, right? Nice. So you wouldn't show up to that with like a huge truck. I mean, you would with a truck, but you wouldn't then like take 10,000 boxes of Twinkies and then load up your truck and then go to another Loves somewhere in the world. That's not how trade routes work, right? Yeah. Instead, you have smaller shipments that will feed smaller routes, but then for bigger trade routes we have like these huge ships that carry huge loads of freight across the Panama Canal, all this stuff, and they have really particular routes that they go to with these much larger shipping containers. So that's the idea here, is that like there are going to be places that just deal in higher volume, there are going to be places that deal in smaller volume, and there are going to be some places in between. The locations will have the facilities there that make sense for them. However, that means that like I totally understand there might be someone in the game that just never wants to pick up a box, right? They just never want to do that. And like, yes, that means that sometimes whenever you're hauling cargo at these small...
I mean, if you want to do the gameplay that is cargo, and you're like, but I don't want to move a box ever. What? I feel like the Venn diagram of people who don't want to pick up boxes and people who want to do the cargo gameplay, the cross section is so minuscule. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's really an issue.
Smaller locations in the game, like the outposts that don't have automatic loading, you're going to have to take the box out of your ship and put it onto the freight elevator. But that is a pretty short loop, because the way that it's going to work at the outpost is that the freight elevator is literally attached to the landing pad. So it's a matter of a few feet away.
Which we saw.
Like you have to go through this huge experience. You just land, you put the thing on the freight elevator.
People were all using Origin.
Not very much time. Again, for the loads that you're dealing with, we're not going to have you move 500 SEU at an outpost, one box at a time. These are going to be small loads. Whereas on the flip side, if you want to move 700 SEU manually from a C2 at, whatever, Area 18 or some other location of the game, and you have a crew of people, you can do that, and you'll potentially be rewarded by having a more favorable profit margin. But obviously, you're going to have thought about that ahead of time.
Yeah, of course,
David. If you chose a bad configuration of boxes, that might take longer. Whereas, like, if you
can make the economy
at places that don't in larger box sizes, you're going to give yourself an easier time. So,
because what you can do, like, you can sort of imagine as well, one of the first things he talked about was like, you can even be rewarded if you have like multiple ships on using the more sensible ship. You can have really expensive and high profit margin loads that are very small, right? Like, you can go, here is my goddamn Freelancer Max, right? Here's my Freelancer Max. And even though I could afford to do some Hull C trading, hell, I could afford to do some Hull E trading, I'm going to go buy a really, really expensive commodity at one of these smaller locations. It's only going to give me like 20 SEU worth of stuff, but I'm going to be able to transport it faster, blah, blah, blah. And that wouldn't unbalance things. You know what I mean? Like, if you only have smaller ships, so you can't afford to do the much larger ones, you can still make the profit margin on those other ones just like ever so slightly less. There's definitely like room in there to make it so that people still want to strive for more money and for large cargo things. There's ways to do it. Plated latinum. But yeah, so yeah, it's cool. Like all this makes sense. It's fine. I'm really happy about salvage nerf. What did they do to salvage again? Did they fully nerf it now? Is it finally trashed here? We get salvage the fuck out of here. We're going to be going into the PTU after this video. So. Minus 70%. Has it made the vulture proper garbage? I don't care about how it made the reclaimer could be minus 70% and still be like the best thing to do in the game. Has it made the vulture garbage? Because that's the problem. It seemed like it was really, really hard for them to nerf salvage without making the vulture just an unusable ship. Yeah, they need to do something with the vulture then. I don't know what. But
we're basically giving the players more choices, but also parsing it out to where it makes sense about like why.
Which I do want to say, if they make like modules and like different ship parts more valuable, then the vulture does like start to regain some value. But yeah. I would think the profit margin per SCU should be higher for the low volume trades, but make it harder to fill large cargo holds because of volume limits. Then high volume SCU trade routes would be lower profit per SCU, but higher profit per cargo load. Yep. Vulture ain't eating anymore. Yeah, no, that's the problem. It's going to be such a hard mechanic to get right because of the way those two ships work. Because if you make the vulture was in like an okay spot. But because of that, and because of the way the salvage works, the reclaimer was so unbelievably overpowered that it just wasn't remotely fair. So yeah, they need to, I don't know, they need to do something.
Why you would choose certain routes and what you're trying to get out of it.
You said loves, and there was this one we used to.
Can you make 100K an hour with the vulture right now?
Hostess chocolate pudding filled pies at Loves. And I was thinking, there's probably a Buc-ee's out there that's big enough that would break the analogy.
A Buc-ee's, yeah.
Because that seems to be their goal for most.
Big enough.
That seems to be their goal for most loops.
For auto loading, now obviously the time.
Then it's still busted.
The time for an auto load is something we can adjust.
Or are you talking about reclaimer before?
Absolutely, certainly will adjust. It's.
Yes. What do you want? Okay. Have a good sleep. Yeah. Here, I'll put on an alarm now just in case. Because it's very likely I go to bed before then. But I'll wake up to my alarm, so. 8:30, she says. Cool. Yes. So it said like 8 hours and 49 minutes from now. I was like, what? Yeah, it is right. All right. Good night, buddy.
Whatever it is in 323 will not be what it is in subsequent patches.
And in fact, I will point something out, which is a lot of people in the ISC, of course, dissected the video to death. And so one of the things that they did is they would pause the video when the different UIs were on the screen, and like really, delve into like the pricing, the times there. I will just say all of that was dev data. Like, don't take that seriously, because that's just the data that us as like developers working on the game are testing with.
I disagree,
Longboy.
Like,
data that the economy team has.
Fine.
Yeah.
So as long as you make it,
have certain expectations.
The end result is that,
and then get to the game.
You're not overpowered or underpowered,
and then be disappointed.
Like, of course, nerf the payout materials.
That just don't take those numbers seriously. I guess is what I.
Yeah, two things I always want to remind folks of. Sorry for the detour. Obviously, there's the alpha live environment where things will change. Then there's PTU before that. Then there's Evocati before that, and then there's where my guys, Will, Dave, Alex, and Toby are working in the absolute shit. I'm going to say it. It's they're saints. They do work that I could not do. I don't have the patience for it. I think that information is all temporary. It's all just don't believe anything you ever see in a UI screen on ISC. It's way too early in the process. It's learn the lessons.
But I believe all of us.
Just remember, it's work in progress. That's why we stick it on there. And then also
kind of to go a little bit further with that, one of the things that we want to be like, kind of just like a philosophy. I'll put it like this: a philosophy that we have here is we want.
God damn it!
To encourage people to engage with the manual loading. So you should expect that the pricing and the loading times are going to be more favorable for manual loading. If you want to do automatic loading, that's totally cool. We want that to be a viable path. It's not going to be
actually, Longboy. This could be a thing that could help with the nerf and buff and whatnot between the Vulture and the Reclaimer. Making the loading and unloading, like when you go to sell, manual unloading in a Reclaimer, like, yeah, I'm probably going to do that most of the time. Well, it's not even forced manual loading on the Reclaimer, but like the cost of that could be a lot, you know? At the very least. And so that could make a fair chunk of difference. So that'd be interesting to see.
But it's not going to be as profitable or even necessarily as time efficient as manual loading. So we want it to be an important trade-off for players to.
Well, Funky Pants, that sounds like exactly what they're doing, is that you're going to have to,
in addition to
put
that,
it in your inventory.
We want the pricing and the load time to
exactly
be
Lumbo,
a little bit more intelligent. Like, it will take volume into account for sure. So like more cargo is going to take longer and cost more. But the other thing is we want to encourage people to be making smart decisions. Like, you shouldn't show up to a place and think you can buy 700 1 SEU boxes and the cost and time to load that is going to be the same as if you got whatever, the same amount, but in 32 SEU boxes. It's much more efficient to move a larger box than a lot of smaller ones. So for that reason, the price,
I'm glad that this is a thing,
is going to be considerate of the number of boxes, not just the volume of the SEU. So there's a little bit of nuance there, but I want to be transparent about like the thought process.
That was one thing I was hoping about, because having like 31 1 SU boxes in my mind should cost more to move than a single 32 SU box. Like, of course, right? It's just less stuff to move, at least less physical motions and whatnot. And I was hoping that would be the case. So I'm glad to hear that essentially is. Like, that all of that stuff is in the idea of it.
Like why it is the way that it is and what we're trying to encourage.
Let's see. Is the mass of cargo still planned to affect ship performance?
Yes, it won't for this release, but it's something that absolutely we've been talking about. Part of the problem is it's more like we would have done it, in fact, even this release, but
interesting.
There's some interesting, I'll put it like considerations for the physics aspect of it. Right now in the game, if it wouldn't be too difficult to make the cargo boxes that are attached to
for sure, long way. They need to mess around with that cargo bay.
But the problem is that if you were to detach the cargo and just lay it in the ship, it won't, because anything that's inside the zone of the vehicle doesn't contribute to the mass of the vehicle at the moment. But that's true of anything.
Because only stacks
you could
too
drop
high,
a gun,
right?
you could
Like
dead bodies. It doesn't matter. Anything you just chuck into the ship loose is not necessarily
like in that room
to the mass either. So it's like kind of a bigger question about how we deal with mass inside ships, and it also feeds into other things about forces and inheriting forces and pushing things around, which we also want to use to encourage people to use cargo grids as an advantage over just dropping stuff in your ship. So
hey, there you go, long boy.
We're not there yet. we've absolutely been talking about it actively. It's something that we are planning on adding, because we want, again, that to add some interesting decision making as far as not just the ship, but also if you load up a ship full of cargo, we want it to fly slower, you're going to be a little bit more endangered. So if you're a big hauler, you're not going to be as agile while you're moving your cargo. And that might encourage you to want to party with other people who can defend you. And then also on top of that, it can help you make considerations during the loading process. You may want to
Hey, Bid, I wonder if they might use limitations of selling particular size crates in order to follow the commodity flow in ways they have modeled as ideal. For example, TDD not purchasing 1SU crates in order to funnel them to LEOs and then having, say, 8SU towards containers. Oh yeah, that'd be interesting.
Speaking of cargo grids,
blueprint pods
did our 2.2.
They're saying they didn't design the ships to maintain the same center of gravity whether or not they have a full cargo. They just don't have cargo mass as like
eventually we'll be able to.
Cargo has a mass number right now. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything in the game yet, but they can tie it in a future release, essentially. And they said they were going to, like, if they had the time or whatever, they would do it for this release. So it's theoretically not too far behind, or at least the possibility of it existing is not too far behind. I imagine the ships would still have the same center of gravity. It's just going to be, you're going to need more power to maneuver,
to attach almost anything to a cargo grid. How's progress on that going?
It's coming, but it's not as far along as I was hoping. So I think this release, there are going to be some probably notable things that are missing. I don't want to say just yet exactly what, but certainly vehicles are not going to be able to be attached to cargo grids this release. That one I will speak confidently on. And that's just more of considerations as far as if the entities themselves are really ready to be attached to things dynamically like that for physical reasons, or if they're ready to be just spawned in the world independently like that. So for example, ship items, a lot of them are not really designed to just be sat there in the world. They have, like, if you look at them, some of the geometry on them isn't even like complete. So it's that kind of stuff where we're not quite there yet. And there might be some other gameplay aspects with that, with more testing, that we find that whenever they're attached, they cause problems that need to be sorted out. And we might have to pull back on what ends up being literally attachable to the cargo grid. That doesn't mean that they may not be able to be called up on the freight elevator, because we can still place things loose on the freight elevator, essentially come but not literally attached to the grid
when it's real
in those situations if we were to need to. But as far as like attaching them to the cargo grid, for example, on the ship, and then flying around with them like on the exterior of the hull C, like in the ISC that we showed, we still have that ambition. It will be probably, I think, a progress, kind of work over time as far as like expanding everything that will be attached. It's still the governing principle, which is if it's in game, I want it to attach to a cargo grid reasonably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So not a thing that probably
but not corpses. I know I made that joke actually.
Not corpses.
Yeah, like that I would say
they're pretty important, Blueprint.
Thing, even though I mentioned it as an example. You can't.
I didn't watch them for like ever, and then I realized just how much information you get in them.
I'm sorry, Jared.
Will you be able to?
Is this why it runs 20 minutes over?
A spacesuit to the cargo grid?
Yes, but that's
fair enough.
Because the space suit will be a box, right? So those things have already had those considerations made for them, so that you can drop it on the ground and it ends up being a box. That should be able to be attached to the cargo grid fine. What you won't see is the loose, like, spacesuit that's kind of like as if it were on a person on the ground with like soft body physics or something like that. Okay. That we don't support. So again, it doesn't work like that in game now, so you wouldn't attach it to the cargo grid like that. The way that you do see those things is they're in the boxes, and the boxes you will be able to attach.
So you're saying anything that I can hold or wear is not going to attach to the cargo grid?
Yeah, like if you can physically manipulate it now, then that's something that you can reasonably expect. The vehicles, I think, are
reason to expect not to attach or to attach?
To attach, yeah.
Because what if I just hold on to the thing and then I attach the thing to the cargo grid?
You have to use the tractor beam right now.
Okay. I think you should reconsider the corpses thing.
God damn it, Jared.
I'll keep it in mind, but I have questions. When you think about it, everything is cargo.
That's my
including
point.
Everything is cargo.
It just seems like you're gonna go all the way there and then just stop before we become reavers. I want to see a giant reaver hull E. Just giant.
Just bodies on the Hulley's cargo. Terrifying.
You switch to his face. I can't. I just staring at my face. I see Chad's face. Just no. Okay. Oh, he's stuck. I broke Chad. Okay.
Surely we would be storing armor in the dedicated armor compartment? Yeah, like you're going to.
Is there... we're in overtime.
Unless you got cargo.
Just...
But like he's specifically saying like the non-box ones. Because the box ones can be attached. So he's saying like loose stuff, right? Can't be. And that's why they're talking about bodies. True longboy. Not Hornets though. Furies. All Furies.
Good. Is there any future at all whatsoever?
No. There is no future. Sorry.
For cargo decks beyond just buying tractor beams and empty containers?
True.
I think cargo decks are an interesting thing in the game that were, I would say, designed at a time that we didn't really fully understand the full scope of the game that we were going to have and how exactly we wanted the cargo loop as a whole to like come together. I do think they still serve an important role at the moment, but there is work there to figure out like what is
Jared's no
for them
got him
overall. So I don't want to give a definitive answer on anything like that. I will just say that like we're totally aware that they're kind of in an awkward place maybe, you know, at the moment as far as like what role they're serving and what we intend for them in the future. But we do want them.
Just make them like proper commodity shops. Or like make them like player trade stations. That's all they need to be. I don't think cargo decks need to be anything extra than that. At the very least, yeah, they just need to be decent commodity shops. And then I'm okay with it. Like, cool. You know? They essentially serve as TDDs. Sweet.
Them to be more integrated.
No. Cargo decks are about 15 pounds of useless stuff in a 5-pound sack, Chad. I can't see his face if you don't switch back to him. I'm just saying.
There should be the admin area where you buy sell to the cargo deck stations. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Pacey. I agree.
What happens if we bring contraband or stolen...
Easiest first step they can do like right now is move the cargo commodities from the admin. Yeah. Damn, YouTube and Twitch actually on like the same wavelength right now. You giga chads.
Goods back to our personal, we're back to personal hangars. So what happens if we bring contraband or stolen goods back to our personal hangars? Are we unable to store them? Do they flag the popo? What happens?
So for the moment, mostly it's going to work like the way that it does in game now, with the caveat that hauling missions in particular are going to be different. So if you just stole somebody else's cargo box and store it in your inventory, you're not necessarily going to get arrested. You won't be able to sell it somewhere. So you're going to be like in Area 18, for example. But you're not necessarily going to get arrested for that or fined or anything for just having it on your person. However, for the hauling missions, we want to make sure that players are incentivized, I'll say, to actually deliver the goods rather than just short circuit it. So if you were to, let's say, take a mission from Crusader and you get this big hull C worth of cargo that you're intended to deliver, if you're going to take that to a location that's not the delivery destination, the system will know, and it actually will flag it and say like, okay, this is like a high risk thing, you shouldn't have it, and you'll be notified. If you won't be able to sell those at a normal location, or sorry, let me re-say that. If you are trying to sell it, it's going to be flagged, and actually you'll get fined for it. Even if you were to take it to like Grimhex, let's say, for example, a place that would normally take like a no questions asked type terminal, and you were to
yeah, for sure,
there,
David,
you can, but the price is going to be dramatically reduced because it's going to be considered high risk.
Yeah, you're fencing it, right?
We don't want players to basically take these missions and just go to like the nearest like Grimhex or something like that and just offload it and not actually take it to the place that it's intended to go. On the flip side, we don't want to overly punish pirates who don't necessarily always know the ships that they're trying to steal from. And while I know, there's a lot of discussions about like how much we favor or don't favor piracy as like a loop in the game, we don't want to completely ice them out so that if they end up accidentally coming across, let's say, some boxes that were being delivered somewhere else, that they just can't do anything with it. And then it becomes kind of just like random about like what you can and can't steal and sell reasonably. But they will be at a much lower cost. So it's not going to be the kind of thing where like, oh, I can just like steal the boxes from somebody else's hauling contract and then I'm just rich immediately because it's just so much and I didn't have to do anything for the time. And then that would just make it to where nobody could ever deliver these things because people are just constantly like camping the routes that they would be on. So the TLDR is, we don't want to necessarily overly restrict where you can store things, but some of the I'll say like high security or high value items are going to have special casing for them.
Okay.
Cool.
Current storage crates are indiscernible from one another in name and appearance. Will it be possible to differentiate?
Yeah, we got the new ones in 323 or
changes to either the name, the label, the color, or some other means?
Great question. Another thing that we've definitely talked about and have plans for, not going to be in this release, but we definitely
Salty Mike
to lean.
Salty Mike's gonna make my character look so fucking cringe. Thank you very much for the raid, Mike. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna change the stream lighting. What do you want me to change it to, Semaha? 07, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we are watching SCL because I was working last night and I couldn't watch it, and so I'm watching it now. And then we're gonna play some 323. Black is not an option. They can't change those LEDs into black. Functional Cousin Crow's paint bay would be sick. True. Is Mackie? Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you are having a good time. I hope Mike isn't too devastated by the cargo news. I know that was a couple of days ago, but I haven't been on since. I hope Mike's coping. I hope he's coping all right. You all excited for Answer the Call tomorrow? Time for a pizza. Did he leave the stream to go eat pizza? Solid 466 King. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Mike's a shill is fine. True. What a shill. He's old and got patience. Jesus. Call Mike, he's crying. I cannot look at the A2C thumb that I'm making right now, okay? Wait, so I have to just not look at the channel for a day? I think I could do that, but I have to just not look at it for a day. Fuck, now I'm terrified. Now I'm actually terrified. Jesus. Anyway, thank you very much for the raid, Mike. Welcome in, guys. We are towards the end of SCL, which has been interesting. It's been very interesting. I should be. I am. I'm gonna have to make another bet for like 4.0 or something. Yeah, keep in mind, Mike, whatever character you've made for me, chances are we're gonna do this bet again at 4.0, and I'm gonna win that time. Okay? I don't know what the bet will be, but I'm gonna win that time. You're doing this to yourself. Anyway, let's keep watching, guys.
Into the inventory container boxes, and right now they're not differentiable. We have ideas for things like tinting and labeling and naming.
And Stomaha, let me know, other than black, what color
is
you'd like me to change the stream lighting to.
Are going to do it exactly one particular way, but we're definitely going to do something there. We want to give players a reason to use these more. And then once you use them more, you run into the problem of how do you differentiate between them to say that, like, okay, this is
Fair,
my
endless fair.
container, or this is like my armor container, or this is my ship items. We want players to have some way to manage all of that, to keep it in check. Like once you get a few of these going, it's going to become like a whack-a-mole about remembering which one it was and opening them and realizing it was the wrong one. Or
Mike, do you like my
from the
this is much more important. Do you like my hoodie, Mike? You know how we've talked before about how Twitch like Australia and New Zealand better than everywhere else? This is the coziest thing in the world. This is actually so sick. And it's just about to be winter. Like, it's actually been getting cold. It's so sick. It's not the only thing we got. I got a bunch more. I have 2 blankets. Get wrecked. Anyway.
freight elevator. And so
Chairman's Club Gold.
Something that we're planning.
Chairman's Club Gold. I might be able to do that.
Solution.
Let's have a look. What have we got gold like?
Just a few more questions.
Natsu, thanks for the follow.
In here.
Cold as fucking New Zealand at the moment. I believe it.
Can the freight elevator?
This essentially is a Twitch UD, Selby.
And are all freight elevator capacities the same at all
Love
locations?
it, sorry, I completely missed that question. One sec. I'm trying to change this into gold. The problem is I feel like gold's just gonna look orange. How's that, Stomaha? I think that might be the best I can get. Anything else is just gonna look like still worse. You approve? All right, there you go. Yeah, what the hell was that question?
Just a few more questions I think we can squeeze in here. How much total SCU can the freight elevator hold at any one time? And are all freight elevator capacities the same at all locations?
Imagine it changes per hangar size, right?
They're all different. So there's 4 different sizes. There's small, medium,
surely
large,
depending on
large.
hangar size.
I don't want to speak off the top of my head to the exact volumes of those because I'll probably misremember one.
2
but
SCU.
they are different. And we want to basically encourage people to upgrade. The idea is that if you have a smaller ship, you shouldn't necessarily be able to do huge hauling runs. On the flip side,
what do you mean?
Encourage players being able to call.
Also, I don't know if you'll mention it, but I also imagine the smallest one still needs to be big enough for like most ground vehicles, with like the exception of like maybe like the like Centurions and like the ballistas. I would imagine. Although maybe not, because if you're getting it on your freight elevator, that means you've got a ship to carry it away. So maybe they don't need to be big enough for that. I don't know.
Call up ground vehicles or smaller vehicles in the freight elevators, which we have not forgotten about. I know that something that players were looking forward to. That's still something we want to support. So that
Luminaire, the start of that sentence, there should be really valuable small cargoes, you know, like gems and organs. Guys, I wouldn't trust anything that Luminaire's selling, just saying.
Sizes of the freight elevators are designed to hold the ships that we want players to be able to call up from. So the small ones aren't going to be like super tiny, but the larger ones are certainly going to be better for hauling like 32 SCU boxes, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's squeeze
Makes
two
sense.
more questions. We haven't talked about the ship lift.
Depends on the order.
So the ship, the lift that brings your ship up was one of the really cool reveals in the last the cargo episode 4 weeks ago. I got 2 questions about the ship lift here. One, will we be able to call up multiple vehicles simultaneously on a single vehicle lift?
Ooh.
Not for this release. So
damn
again, another thing that we definitely have thought about and considered. At the moment, the experience.
It would be so nice if you had like a big hangar and you were able to just go, all right, Australia, Des, Daryl, NK Sharp. I'm going to bring up 4 arrows. Let's go. You just bring them all up at the same time. Oh, well.
This is going to be very similar to the current ASOP, which is
Flibbity Gibbet. Thanks for the follow.
Welcome
Welcome to the stream. Happy having a good day.
On the landing platform, it'll lower and despawn that one, spawn the new one, then raise. So it'll just be one at a time for this release. But if you can move it off to the side, you can.
Sandix 27 Furies, yeah. Exactly.
Like but what you won't be able to do is like say like, okay, I want my Cutlass and I want my Gladius and I want my Rock or something like that.
Well, Izmaki, you'd be able to do that through your freight elevator.
Like 4 ships.
But I guess, yeah, you can't call them up at the same time.
Said nobody has ever in the world, in the history of Star Citizen, said, I want my Rock DS. Did you say Rock or Rock DS?
Yes, I said Rock.
Okay, no, Rock is fine. Just nobody's ever said, I want my Rock DS.
How dare you? The Rock DS is a money-making machine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But yeah, so like,
how dare?
There's some design considerations there as well as technical. How do they come up? How do you pick multiple at the same time? How do you say if there's 3 ships on
Rock
the
DS requires friends?
Swap one of them.
Well, yeah, Izmaki, you are not going to have fun with the Rock DS.
To the system that we just didn't want to mess with. Now we want to keep it simple and get it working. There's a lot that's already changing in the ship spawning flow right now. Adding this in the middle of all of that was just a step too far. So we are trying to keep this step in, an iterative step as far as making the changes to spawning via this ship platform. But we will revisit this. It is something we want again to encourage people.
Rock DS is perfect to test salvage on ground vehicles.
So we want that to not just be useful for big ships, but also multiple and also multi-crewing and all of that.
I'm sorry, chat. It's not that I don't like the Rock DS. It's that I hate it.
It's okay. It doesn't like you either.
We're allowed to like some things and not like other things.
Yeah, for sure, Harold. Take Rock DS variant with the mining laser put on the back of the truck instead.
It knows what it did.
You did to reverse Rock DSing.
Sorry. Is there any other location? Oh, sorry. Last ship question. Is there any other location besides the personal hangars where the ship lifts are being used to deliver vehicles to you?
I mean, just all.
Not at the moment.
No. Okay. So only personal.
All right. Last question.
Interesting. That's a little weird, given what they said earlier about how all hangars will be persistent. Just not personal. I was kind of like, because they had said that, I was kind of expecting that you would always call your ships from inside the hangar. Kirity, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. It's just a little strange. It's not bad, I guess, but it just feels a little weird.
I was just thinking about what I said, and I am going to get that message now. I'm in trouble. Fauna. 323 has the addition of the Copian and the Merrick bird. Hypothetically, don't you dare say not in this release. Hypothetically, if I go out to the plains of Lorville.
Oh, this is the question, Muldan.
And I coerce
a
kind and gentle Copian onto my ship, and I bring that ship back to my personal hangar, and then I coerce the kind and gentle Copian out of my ship into my personal hangar. And then I leave. Does that Copian now persist in my personal hangar for all time?
Please.
Oh man. So it's going to work. The way to think about what will persist in the hangar.
I don't like that he didn't just say yes, and I'm really mad about that. I feel like I'm about to be severely disappointed.
Is just to think about what will persist in the ships, because it's identical. And I think people have probably seen the video of like people spending like a month collecting NPCs in the game and their ship. So for now, for sure, if it persists in the vehicle, it's going to persist in the hangar. In this case,
Yes!
I believe the Kofion would persist. I haven't personally tested that. So,
Hell yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it
The
would
only
persist.
important question.
And in fact, we already have bugs right now about people being attacked in the station by like the Kofions and stuff that are like kind of
zoo time. Zoo time. Let's go.
Players. So like if you're able to get one all the way into your hangar, then like okay, you're gonna get rewarded.
The birds have collision, right?
We solved it.
Restless Tiger, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Because that's what I would get. I'd get the birds. I'd get the macarons.
For the fauna stuff, and I see the backer. So many people are like,
Marocs,
can we kill it? Can't we hunt and murder it? And I'm just like, that's.
We need pets. I mean, there you go, pets. We did it.
Be kind and gentle. Bring them home.
Cheap security system.
On the couch and stuff, and keep them from falling. Be careful. Be sure they don't.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. One of the earliest questions from the video, right, is about like, oh, well, what happens if there's like players that want to grief me that come into my ship? Well, mate, if you've got enough Marocs in there, oh, sorry, you've got enough Copians in there, nothing to worry about.
Lift when the doors open and stuff. So I'm just, like I said, okay, I want to be real clear. I'm joking. I'm having fun, but he did not say that's a definite thing. That is clearly an untested situation that I presented to Chad. He's speaking hypothetically based on his knowledge of how the system works right now. This is not a guarantee or an admittal that it does work. But
100%
all of you, every single one of you.
I'm an illegal Copian seller.
Because I'd rather build little personal zoos than be out there.
Exactly, okay, yeah.
Virtual dog, cat things who just want to be loved. That's it. Hey, Chad, do you want to see my Cobra Hiss?
Yeah.
Show my Cobra Hiss. Look at this. Look at that.
Bro, that's sick. The hell's that from? Cool? Oh, Cobra is in like G.I. Joe.
It's cool.
That's kind of cool.
It's got a Viper driving. And
it's cool, but that is also maybe the worst tank I've ever seen designed. Is this why Cobra are always losing in G.I. Joe? Because that tracks. What the hell is this? This looks terrible.
It's got Cobra Commander in there. It's really cool. I like it. All right, back to me. Everybody, that's the show. Thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out at the end of this Friday. I think we're going to do a raid for somebody. I didn't
drove over ant piles,
but if there's a raid, be sure you tell the spread the love and support our fellow Star Citizen streamers on this fine day. If you haven't watched it, check out this week's episode of ISC. It's all about
which we watched just before this
water
chat
wizards who are
no, it's Wet Willy. We watched Wet Willy talk about the water.
Doing all these big improvements to the graphics and simulation and rendering for water. Next week, come back to another episode of ISC. It's going to be on the whole host of Arena Commander updates that are coming in 3.23. You thought the PU just had a whole bunch of PU stuff.
Cargo Chat and Wet Willy.
Just had a whole bunch of PU stuff. It's even got a whole bunch of stuff in 3.23, including new experimental modes and new racetracks and a whole bunch of fixes, and the return of something folks have been waiting for.
Star Citizen is the new Fortnite.
I'm not spoil right now because I got to make another show for next Thursday, and then we'll come right back here next Friday, and we'll have all the members of the UI team. Bone. Sit in the chair.
Bone!
And they'll answer your questions about
Bone's UI?
Star map and
yeah, he
interior
was.
map and Moby-Glass and all that stuff. So
he was UI.
That was Chad. Say hi, Chad. Bye, Chad.
Bye, Chad.
Goodbye, Chad.
I'm Jared. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with us for extra time today. We know how much this topic means to folks. Take care. And yeah, I'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Jared. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to actually play some Star Citizen. That was a good SCL. Yeah, it was the one that was postponed a couple of weeks ago. But it was a good one. It did answer some questions. I was only unhappy with one thing, and I honestly forget what it was. So it must have been a small thing. Well, other than the fact that it's not coming with this patch. So let's boot up Starset, because there have been like 3 patches since I played. Since the last time I played. So, yeah, we got a lot. to do. I need to do something quickly. No hot tub module? Bro, one day. I got shot while landed at HMS Ryder by NPCs. Armistice zones gone now. I have no idea. That is my answer. But I mean, that makes sense to the UI stuff because it's bloody. Now that is essentially the biggest feature of the patch is UI, right? The biggest feature of the patch was going to be cargo. Now it's UI. So, you know, it tracks. So I'm just fixing up the live stream on YouTube. Alrighty. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Widow. I don't know. I haven't played since Wednesday. It's possible they've been fixed through bug fixes, but I don't know. I know a lot of the fixes have just been stability and visuals. So game quiet. So, yeah. It's fine. And how has Vulcan been the last couple of days, chat? That's it. Oh, that's a looker. How's Vulcan been going? Lovely. Done. True Dironum. That does have big Mass Effect vibes. Let's go Babbage. Vulcan's alright. Yes, he has Wutai. The character is going to be revealed to me tomorrow during the podcast of what Mike has made for me. I'm terrified. Because I have to use it for all of 323. As is the rule. No more HUD flickering for Summon Vulcan. Sweet. Hopefully that happens to me too. Because the HUD flickering was super annoying. Really, Dula? You don't like the new UI? That's interesting. I thought pretty much everyone liked the new UI. Other than, you know, the like doubling effect and stuff. It does, you comic, yes. We made that as part of the bet. It's like the full patch cycle. There is Pacey, yeah. There is a setup. Someone linked it in Discord the other day. So that you can share your character creations. Oh, true weirdo, yeah. Fair enough. A reminder, guys, this time next week I'm going to be at DreamHack. It sounds like I will not be streaming from DreamHack this time, which is a little bit disappointing. I am sad about that. Spleeno Thief, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. But I'm still gonna have a good time. So keep in mind from essentially Thursday through Tuesday, I won't be streaming. Yeah. Yeah, they said they couldn't fit me in as a in a stream time for it, which sucks, and I'm genuinely properly gutted by. But whatever. I was hoping the fact that they did it for me 2 years ago would mean it was more likely. I guess not. And by did it for me, I mean like I just said, hey, I would like to come to DreamHack. And they said, cool, would you like to stream? And I said, yes. Gave you a spot to Cornsey. They must have. Annihilated. Yeah, I can do stuff there, Wuta. The specific thing I'm talking about, there's like this thing called the Stream Studio. So when I went 2 years ago, the Stream Studio was literally like, yeah, it was like, here's a bunch of streamer like computers and stuff for you guys to stream live here at DreamHack. We did that. They're doing that again this year. But the difference between this year and previous years is there's 500 creators going this year. So, yeah. That's right. Me and Beard are gonna have fun. And we're gonna watch some Counter-Strike, and we're gonna watch some speedrunning, and we're gonna try to snag some free goodies from everyone. That's my plan. Exactly, Marty. To be fair, it looks like everyone that's streaming is just streaming like big, easy to install popular games. It's literally like Fortnite, Minecraft, League, Valo. Like it's nothing particularly left field. So I think they've done it like that because it's like easier for them to get all that stuff ready. Alrighty, well, frame rate just jumping in significantly better. Let's go. Ooh. It's actually in the center. Oh yeah, apparently you can hear your heart rate now. I'm curious. Let's do some quick running. I don't know why I just took 2% damage, but okay. Do one more lap. And I imagine our heart rate will be higher. I mean, yeah, true bid, but it'd be cool for me. Yeah, a little bit faster. Imagine you hear it here too. Yeah. All right, that's cool. In terms of features, I think that's the only actual like new feature in the last couple of days. Everything else is just, yeah, stability and stuff. And clouds. Apparently clouds got a big buff. That's what I heard. Okay, we're in Vulcan. Oh, that's right. This is called photo mode. Photo mode. They are not Navigator. No, they've been delayed as of roadmap roundup from this past week. Potato mode, my favorite. Just in case, because what I'd actually love to do is get some FPS in today, because we keep on trying to do it and failing. Why are you playing EPTU and not PU? Because it's new content. I don't know if you're genuinely curious of that question. I want to play the cool new things. Is there an option to reduce the breathing sound? It is really annoying. You're not wrong. It is super annoying. We'll see if the Armistice Zone bug is still here. But yes, I did lose the bet. The character is going to be revealed to me during the podcast tomorrow. An AO3. Do I have one? I don't have one. Can you buy one here? Hold on. Because I'll do it. I just need to buy one here. Correct. Overdrive is essentially finished. But the last mission is going until after 323. Because they know that everyone's having issues. Because, of course. Good old delivery missions. Oh, yeah, you can't buy snipers. True, Captain. I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry, Meltdown. I don't have a AO3, so I can't. Yeah, if you want to Meltdown. Yeah. God damn it. Even the trams are working today. Has anyone had a bad experience with today's patch? Are we just in a good patch right now? Honestly, Valenti, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a thing with like just giving it to everyone. 07 Abdi. It's going good. How you doing? They'll do something because it's messed up for too many people.
Careful, doors are now closing.
Jesus.
Nearing next stop.
Why do I have the serious threats mission? Also, the serious threats mission only gives 30k base now? Interesting. Oh, 7 bloodier. Yep. This is to spaceport now, right? Yep. Sure, Valenti, yeah. Alright. Body up. As you said, I got 30k server recovery. Unlocked rep. Yeah, but also the prices of the missions are different. Serious threats used to give you like 85k or something, right? I mean, way more. Yeah, moderate threats used to give you like 50, I think. If I remember correctly. Is this one Microtech Logistics Depot? That's a thingy, right?
Nearing next stop.
Sirius got dipped a little while back. Okay. Yeah, DC. Yeah. Sweet. That's good, because that's what I want to do. I want to test out some FPS missions at some DCs. Are you spawning here, Moldan? I don't know. You're 38 gigameters away. Sorry, I'll meet you at the thingy. That is so much easier to read. Oh my god, I love it so much. I love it. And like I said, now we just hope that I don't have that weird Armistice Zone bug where it's Armistice Zone everywhere. Sure. One sec. It does feel weird that the instructions in the top right are in lowercase, though. Doesn't feel very urgent. Feels like someone's just saying, when you can, could you clear the exterior zone 2 of all hostiles? Just when you can. Is that okay? One sec.
Be sure to explore all New Babbage has to offer. Whether it's the latest in cutting-edge technology or the beauty of our award-winning...
Welcome to the ASOT Vehicle Retrieval System.
Alright, good to hear, Brinkanier. Good to hear. So hopefully we are the same. Let's bring the Valk. Why not?
Looking for a good time?
Why not? We don't really care what we're bringing.
Only a quick ride on the metro.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the...
Weird responsiveness issues, though, at the moment. And this bode's a lot better than people were giving this credit for, like yesterday, I guess. But, like I said, maybe I'm just getting lucky at the moment. Well, not like I said, I didn't say that. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean, chat. Go down. Valkyrie interior map looks nice. It's fine. Gigacron. There we go. Yeah, lots of responsiveness issues, but that's alright. We're still in wave 2, right? And wave 2 is essentially still less people than wave 1 used to be. Kind of. Guess it depends on how many people got invited from just playing the game. I believe I remapped everything last time as well, so I should be able to actually pilot the ship now.
landing gear raised.
That work? Yeah. In-game chat is still funky. Oh, where'd the thing around it go? Was that deliberately moved, or is that a choice that they made? Whoop. Okay. Press enter. Ah, okay. Okay. And I imagine server recovery is back on, right? Because I think when we played last, it was the patch where they had temporarily removed it. Yes? Okay. Works well. How's everyone's server recovery been in like the last 2 days? Because the first patch we had it like working in 3.23, as in like it not just breaking everything. It was like 7 minutes. For the most part.
No! What are you doing?
BlizzCall! Gave in, got a sub to EPTU. Wrong sub, but I appreciate it nonetheless, BlizzCall.
I gave in and got a sub to EPTU.
You can just do that, Casey. Like I do think I want the outside there still. But yeah. Anyway. Crashed 3 times in 15 minutes this morning. Each time I recover within a couple of minutes. Okay. Alright. Well, no, I think I said once every half hour for 2 minutes and I will like deal. It'd suck, but I would deal. So that's what I'm still hoping at the very least we get at live. Oh, god damn it. What did I change it to? It's going to take me so long to get used to these keybinds. It is nighttime Big Welsh, but it's also because we got our Subfest stuff from last November finally arrived. Quantum travel. Which one's button 11? I don't remember which button this is. Shit. I'll work it out. It's fine. We got this. Tried to accept the mission by pressing Y and it ejected me out of my ship. Alright, while we're doing this, let's have a look at the photo mode clouds, apparently. I mean, they are looking nice. They're not looking terrible, that's for sure. The shadows look nice. I want to see the light rays more than anything, though. Alright, button 11. Are you button 11? No. Are you button 11? Are you button 11? Are you button 11? What about you? What about you? No. Shit. What? I don't know which button I pressed! I don't know what button I pressed. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, for sure, Australia. You'd be fine. Someone put out a missing persons report. We're looking for button 11. Try very high. It's 99% as photo mode, but with many more frames. I'll keep it on this for now, Grenar, but I will keep a note of that. You know what I mean? All right, middle mouse button should bring me back to that. And this is the bug that happens when you come out of Quantum and you can't control it, right? There we go. Yeah, the UI is so much easier to read now. They've done a great job. Oh, how's the map UI? Sorry, just while I remember. How's map UI looking at the moment? Has that gotten any better? In terms of readability? I mean, it's still terrible at microtech. Right? But, you know, this is microtech. Let's have a quick look at, like, Hurston. Yeah, it's fine there. Because it's not on a white background. Anyway. Yeah, I'll reshow. It's fine. Still a little blurry on the side here. Well, I noticed. But yeah, the actual, like, this UI looks so much better. Even with this, like, cluster of stuff here, which is a little annoying, but great. I like this. Yeah, I'm getting just, like, a lot of stuff right here. But, like, you know, all the different markers are quite nice. We drop out of Quantum. Haran2Z, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Oh, this is the green zone one too. Or one of the green zone ones. This is the forest one. Apparently you can scan for copians. Let's do that real quick. No signatures. Cool. Oh wait, unless? Unless... No, it was that ship, wasn't it? Yeah. Damn it. It's gonna do a very, very quick look. Also, yeah, the frame rate at this distro center has cratered. Look at this little section though. This is cool. That's to my left as well. Something. So just, yeah, I just want to quickly check if this is a copian. If this signature I'm going towards right now is not... Oh! A lot of signatures now. Copians? Copians? My life for a copian? How do I tell if it's gems? I guess I'd look at them. That's some doggos. Ah! Oh, they're yelling at me. Alright, let's land somewhere. Land over here. How's the Valk never flown one? I enjoy it. But to be fair, this is the Valkyrie Liberator, so it's just special. It's got sentimental value for me.
Landing complete.
Yeah, I was gonna say, surely the gems have different markers.
Engines offline.
All right, let's go. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go very high and see, because we've lost a lot of frame rate. No, a lot of that is going to be because of the distribution center. I don't think that's helped really much at all, unfortunately. But them? That's them. Oh, yeah, apparently you can see the glint when you're in third person. Or not. Never mind. Hey, it's more frames than we had it here the other day, so I'll take it. Oh, there we go. CIG turned on the frames. Lovely. Hello, doggos. That is a lot of them. Kind of terrifying. Can you overdrug them? I don't think you can use it on them. I'm seeing if they're actually going to move towards me. They're probably not because, you know, AI, so performance, etc. Yeah, they're not doing anything. Well, they actually make a sound. Like they make a little yelp. What button to go melee now? 6? There we go. It's not 0 anymore. Also, it says armistice, but it's wrong. Wacha. Rosney 07. Oh, I just noticed they come up on the radar. They've got a little animal symbol on my radar in the top left. I didn't realize I was there. Oh yeah. Can you do a takedown? Oh, if only you could do a takedown. Alright, cool. Well, they're there. Why am I breaking up a happy home? Look. I don't know. They are pacifists. They didn't want to attack me. I am definitely the bad guy in this situation. But yeah, still need to see the birds. I'm still yet to see birds. What armor have I got? One of the Overlord ones, I think. Yeah. Okay, there's dogs. Maybe I do. Oh, wait, what? Oh, no, I don't like that. The ledge grabbing isn't working. Alright, let me see if I can get him from the back. It's gonna be rough there. Might be able to jump up onto it. Yeah, okay, cool. But if that were a mission, fly across Stanton punching animals, that'd be a messed up mission. Honestly. I was just doing it there to conserve ammo because I wanted to see if they had sounds for taking damage. And they do. God damn. The frame rate's so much better. This is so much smoother. So much smoother. I'm excited to play this like every day for the next week. Well, until I go to DreamHack. Yeah, I'll have a look, you comic, when I park this over there. I'll see if the mantling's working at all. Smoother than hot butter on a baked potato. Yeah, I would like the option of like this is too many signatures. Now, to be fair, that's because there's a lot of ships here. And they're gumming up the works, but that's still annoying. And like, holy shit. There's so many Copians! There's so many Copians! God damn, they're everywhere. Holy dear God. Now, where's all the birds? Oh, I'm sure it is Midnight Blade, but that's like, that's fine. I will take general stability, like all day. Be it, I don't have paper magic anymore. My boss is the one that's running the Sunday magic event there. Oop. What am I parking on top of?
Landing complete.
Yeah, like a filter would be nice. Something like that. Anyway. That's a quality of life thing for sure. Hey, Electriel. Valkyrie's fun. It's just like, if you go in terms of like raw power, it's not that great of a shit. But it's so much fun. I love it. So it still says, oh, we didn't do the thing. We'll do it when we come back. So it still says Armistice in the top right, but we were able to shoot before and stuff. So is that just a UI bug then? Or what? It does have a fancy skin. All gold and stuff. Sweet. So we also have maps here now as well. This was also not a thing on Wednesday. We have maps at the distro centers. Hell yes. I should probably be recording this. I'm gonna start recording now. Rip you beard. Navigator coming in. I feel like there's a big delay when you swap your weapons too, from being allowed to go into the next one. Yeah, right now I don't trust the buggies themselves to actually like run around this in, but yes, I think the buggy's gonna be sick here. Is it worth it to sub? We're in wave 2 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in open wave in like a week and a half. That's the AO3 comic. I don't have one, but Moldan's checking it. Or wants me to check it. Yeah, I like that they've got a map here. Let me, what does the map actually look like here? Still F2? Yep. Bruh. That's a lot of rooms. Oh my god. Okay. We gotta get over there. What's the button? R? I want to see if it'll, route me. T? R? I don't think it can work it out. I don't know what that button does. But I need to come back here into the refinery section, essentially. Holding R. Yeah, that's not doing anything. Ah. What about inside? Yeah, I don't think you can work it out. Because, like, let's go over to where I am. Alright, she's just here. I want to go over here. Or it might not work on this map as well. Because they only introduced this map like pretty recently, right? Yeah, it's not even doing it out here. All right. Yeah, it may not be functional here yet. I should have trusted Beard of Us. No. No. God damn it. Interesting that the clouds disappear when that happens too. Like, why do the clouds disappear when I go underground? Strange. Well, rip. Can't waypoint out of there, I'm pretty sure. Sick. True. God damn it. Disappear because of culling. Ah. Well, let's try that again. And just not go into the center. Just go to the refinery. I fell through the ground midnight. Everyone's favorite. Was that the music's gone as well? We don't have music again? A bit disappointing. There we go. Yeah, it's actually loading stuff in. It's just going to take a really long time, unfortunately. I've noticed that a lot in this patch is like reloading takes ages. Like Alt F4 earlier right after blowing up in front of a DC. Nice. See, Mike's probably been playing it for the last couple of days where things have improved. I haven't. So everything is a bonus for me. Anytime anything remotely works, I'm like, holy shit. This is better than Wednesday. Okay then. Why does this look more saturated than normal? Oh, the like sun's coming through, that's why. Only improved today? Ah. Well, look. We'll pretend it's been improving for the last couple of days. We'll pretend together. That's not what I wanted. There we go. The other Overlord set. I do have Vulcan on, yes. You know what? I have a shotgun. Estelle. And an ATSCAV. Let's bring an ATSCAV, shall we? Everyone loves an ATSCAV. Famously. Oh. Stuck in inventory? Or it's just slow? Slow. Bwin's sitting at like 200. Bwin should be fine. We are still loading entities though. There's no bug at the moment that's like you get stuck in your inventory, is there? that anyone's aware of. It says pending moves like 0, the top left. Now there's 1. Now there's 0. Why can't I get out of my inventory? Let me check no bugs quickly. Lovely. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I think it was because I had like opened my Mobi-Glass by accident in the inventory, and then that's why it was like freaking out. It looks like. Anyway. Pretty much until you get the email, Brinkener. Usually the second you get the email, you're all good. Yeah, fair enough, Luxury Hell. But yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm just not gonna go into the center so I don't die, hopefully. Hopefully we can do this mission. Definitely need to go to water again today. Look at the improvements of that in the last couple days. And then, I don't think there's anything else. It's mostly Vulcan and stuff. Also, now that cargo isn't going to be in 318, I can make my, like, here are all of the features in 318 patch. Here are all the features in patch 318 video before I go to DreamHack. $323. Fuck. Hey guys, here's all the features in 318. Peanut. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. God damn it. We've been talking so much about 318 that now my brain is like, oh yeah, 318. Of course. We're in 318, guys. Wee. All right, it was working before. Now we're sideways again. Server has started to collapse. Yeah, server FPS is 3. Wee. Goodbye. Yeah, pretty much the second we got on the server started cratering. It's all my fault. I'm sorry, chat. I didn't mean to make the server crater. At least we got music now. Hey, look at that! Wait, what? Wait, what are those? Because those aren't planets and stuff. I don't think. But they also don't look like ships. Or are they ships? No, because it's on the wrong side. They're too close to us to be the other planets. Ah! Ah! Jesus. Server FPS 1.4. Well, we're back above ground now, so that's nice. I'm gonna say it. The server was working perfectly fine until Moldan popped on. I'm just saying, the tram we took immediately when we first got onto this server worked perfectly fine. And the server FPS was perfectly decent. And then Moldan joined. I'm just saying what we're all thinking. I have a feeling I'm not getting off this tram. Oh god, we're speeding up underground. Is that a screen? You guys see that? Whee! Whee! We're just teleporting all over the place now. We're not even moving, we're just teleporting. Well, I promised I would stream for at least 4 hours, so let's hope we get off this in the next 45 minutes. I want to see what happens. Nope! Someone got on! Someone got on the tram! And so I was like, well, if someone got on, then surely I can get off the tram. I was very wrong. Yeah, I thought that was you, Navigator, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens now, Navigator. You weren't wrong, you just got off the tram, just into the world. True, we did effectively get off the tram. Working as intended. What do I mean? One sec, I do have to message Mike quickly. You even got to the spaceport? What the fuck? Why am I getting memed then? All right. See what happens. AndyCon7560, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You're having a good day. Yeah, fair enough, Brinkina. Triple A Keen, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Like, the server FPS is still 3. It's still incredibly low. The elevator's working, like... Can't imagine it's that bad. Oh, no. Popped up just late. When will the servers get better? Oh, they did. This is better, Larium. Like, yeah, the server's not great, but it's better. Much better. Look at the arrow set. I like the arrow set. Well, someone mentioned it before, and I had it on my mind off because of that. Pistol. Losing weapons very quickly. Yeah, it's gonna happen, AAA. It's good old PTU. Alright, let's see if it'll actually take me to the spaceport. Yeah, it's like we just had that issue then, but other than that, it's been a much better experience than it has been the last couple of the last week or so.
Station. Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
We've had good servers in live before, Miriam, but
the capsule.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, we were able to get on the tram. Will we be able to get to the spaceport? Taking bets now. What? So far, so good. We've done a turn. We did another turn. Oh my god. Symbiont, thank you for the follow on stream. Jim Pastor, I'm 90% sure. I am 90% sure that that is copyright free, that song. I don't know for sure. I'm 90% sure. Also, bold of you to think that that rendition was good enough to warrant a copyright claim. Alright, we're at the spaceport. Lovely. We made it. You were all wrong. You fools. Tries to do its part to keep your ego inflated. Fair, fair, fair. But now we're gonna fall through the ground again when we go to the... the second we go to the thing, we're gonna fall through the ground. So... rip. Elevators have been like half decent for me. Just trams. Trams doing weird tram things. We'll just grab a fighter of some kind. Sup, navigator?
Welcome.
Oh, true. If I grab the Carrack, I can set my spawn there.
Dining and entertainment. Be sure to visit New Babbage's renowned promenade.
Yeah, we fell through the floor, AAA, but we only fell through it trying to go into the center of it. This mission is on the outside. It's at the refinery section.
Vehicle selected.
From all of
Stand
us at
by.
Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport.
Vehicle selected. Stand by.
From all of us at Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage.
What does FPS stand for in terms of server FPS chat? I've probably asked this a billion times, and I'm going to ask it a billion and more times. But it's obviously not frames. The server does not have frames. My screen has frames. No, not what. I know it's the server tick. What does it stand for?
For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments, Please use one of the conveniently located terminals.
Feed per second for the hamster.
Ready to upgrade?
This is not a good sign.
In the plaza, the factory line has all of my
Ba, 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 ba. I don't know what that song's called.
Microtech, the Empire's leader in cutting-edge technology, where creative innovation meets innovative creativity.
Huh. Did I just break that terminal?
Please visit us again.
No.
Welcome to the ACE. Please.
Did it spawn the Carrick? No.
From all of us at Microtech.
Try it again.
Welcome to the new Babbage
Welcome
Interstellar Space
to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Okay. Carrick.
Tired of travel? Why not rest at the Nest's newly renovated accommodations, located downtown in the luxurious
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Be sure to visit Waddy's Bar at the
There we go.
Only a quick ride on plane.
Third boss ASOP terminal. Are you coming with me, Navigator? If you are, can you fly for me? Though even then, I would still recommend you probably bring your own ship. I don't know what I took, but I took too many. That's a song that's actually been stuck in my head, like, literally, like 3 weeks. The new Cody Co song. It's such a banger. You can fly? Alright, sweet. This isn't Hangar 8. I've been bamboozled. Wait, did you steal? This guy stole my elevator. This guy stole my bloody elevator. Ah! Terrifying. Yeah, man. Lovely. Yeah, tons of desync. But things are working-ish. Oh, Jesus. Why? I wonder why the server isn't recovering. Yeah, I want to at least get this mission done. Oh, Jesus. I just took a shit ton of damage. Oh, because we went inside each other. Good old desync. Class. Ah. Jesus. Trying to kill me. Fix me up, magical bed. Then give it 7 years for the screen to come down. Come on. The server FPS just went down to 0.5 for a second. Mentor, thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. Yeah, the server is more stable. The desync is much worse. You're exactly right. And like that happens. It happens. Let me try to do it on the other one. So I'm back to full health now. Is server full? I don't know. Could have been any reason this trial. Like it went down to 0.5 for just a second, so it might have been like a little hiccup when it was catching up on some stuff. Which I believe, you know, once again, kind of makes sense. I don't necessarily trust that it'll actually regen me either. GKN, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I do. Navigator. Alright, I'm just gonna hope that worked. If it didn't, whatever. Here's the problem. All right, this might not actually go great. I imagine we won't get a patch tonight. Because, well, I imagine they're all, like, you know, at home on their weekend. But we might end up in a spot where we just get a better server. Like, this server just dies or something. Yeah, as, like, yeah, they shouldn't be doing really much of anything over the weekend. I wouldn't want them to. But that's what I'm saying, like, yeah. So hopefully we can end up in a half-decent server tomorrow before I answer the call. Yeah, it's not boding well. Do we throw in the towel? The server FPS is just too low. Nothing's happening. Oh, member left. Finally, it says that. That was Australia leaving a while ago, I think. I do have it tied to a key symbiont, but only when I'm in the seat. By the time I hop to another server, I'll have to finish anyway. The server's actually doing nothing now. Look at the Bwin. It's going extremely high, and then it drops to the, like, 003. Yeah, I don't love this. All right, we'll do this again tomorrow then. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll be starting probably early because we've got to answer the call. And we will do some like server hopping and stuff as well. But I like this. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the heart rate thing. Not the worst. Oh, that's a little bit more clear as well. I think it's a little bit clearer. That's nice too. So it's not all the end of the world. It's nice. Yeah. I'll have to try that again tomorrow. But yeah, I'll finish up. Wrong screen. I'll finish up. One thing we found is that some of the ships cause to have huge streaming bubbles, and we mean huge, and that would cause for entities to be streamed across vast distances but kill server performance. I wonder if the Carrack is one of those, because the second we got on the Carrack, everything was exasperated, right? The problems got worse. But very well could be that, which is interesting. But yeah, we're going to finish up. I'll send you guys off on a raid for those of you here on Twitch. For those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching on YouTube. Keep in mind as well, if you don't catch my next stream, there is going to be a YouTube video on probably Monday. Probably Monday. At least Monday my time. So keep a lookout for that. It's going to be Monday or Tuesday. It's going to be all the features in 3.23 and what they mean. It's not going to be like are they buggy or anything like that, but they will have like some small opinions on like what I feel about the features themselves, whether or not they're in a state. I am going to yeet you guys at someone. I'm going to yeet you guys. We rated Pete pretty recently, I think, right? I think we rated Pete pretty recently. Let's rate... TDL rated us the other day. Let's rate TDL. Oh, shit. Duncan was here this whole time? Cringe. Yeah, let's rate TDL. And we'll try this again tomorrow. As well as we'll have some time to do some Arena Commander stuff tomorrow as well. I want to try some private lobby things. Do some shenanigans with that stuff. Yeah, I appreciate everyone hanging out for the stream today. Hope you all enjoyed it. And then, yeah. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, make sure you watch the podcast, because I get to see the absolute abomination that Mike has made for me that I have to use for the entirety of 3.23, including sub patches. Dear God. Catch you guys soon.